Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GBYWN Australia podcast, here for part 3 with my interview with Rex Regum. I was hoping with part 2 we would have got through the rest of your career, but there's so much information coming out that we ended up needing to end it just after your feud with Dark Ice ended.
I'm not trying to go on the tangent here, but, there's so much to talk about that you just have to get into it.
That's right, yeah, and that's fair enough. But the next part I want to talk about is another difficult time in Rex Regums' career. Basically, just before the musical, 2014, there was more issues going on with me and you. You had previously stated to me before you matched with Ice that this would be your last match. You had stated then maybe you might not be retiring from WCWA after that, you might stay on. Then I think after the match happened, I don't know what happened after that really, but you were adamant you're done, you're leaving, and I kept saying I'm not kicking him out. If he wants to leave, he can leave if he wants, but it's not going to be my decision, it's his decision.
What that stemmed from was because we rocked up at the Blade's house. For we
were having drinks at Blade's.
Yeah, you guys were having drinks, and it was like fucking whatever time it was, and Blade, no, when it was when you guys had actually started the drinks, right? And Chaos and Ty had been invited, but I wasn't. I did not get the invite, right? And we had, I think, one of our mates, Simo, over, right? So he's not even involved in wrestling, so yeah, it doesn't matter. He was over, and then he leaves, and then Chaos goes, let's go to Carl's. So we drive over, Blade's house. So we drive over the Blades and just rock up unannounced, even though I had stated, let's not do that, we're not, even though you guys were invited, we shouldn't show up. They showed up anyway. I came with, and pretty much the night went that we just started talking about wrestling and the boys in wrestling, and I was being a dickhead the entire night. I was just talking shit, literally. And, you kept saying that Blade, because Blade was taking what I was saying seriously, dead seriously. You kept saying the Blade...
He's just trying to...
He's just pulling the piss, just take what he says with a grain of salt, right? And I think what put you over the edge is that, there's a 6-pack of beer left. And I asked you for a beer, and you gave it to me. And then I went over around the corner to grab a beer off of you, but I didn't ask, and I wasn't going to grab the beer anyway. I just stood there with my hand on the bottle until you saw what I was doing. Then you turned around and it was a silly thing for me to do because I instantly knew you were going to be oh, what the fuck are you doing, cunt?
No, but it wasn't that.
No,
it wasn't that. It was Look, and I'll admit it, I specifically said I didn't want Chris there because every time we had hung out previously, you kept bringing up the slap. And it kept making me feel uncomfortable having to argue and bicker with you about it.
Because I didn't hear about that because you were talking to Chaos because I didn't have internet at that stage.
You grabbing the beer was annoying.
You were talking to
paled in comparison.
All I heard about was the beer. That's all I'd heard about Chaos.
Really?
Because Chaos is not helping the situation. He was being a bit of a dickhead about it as well. He was feeding me little bits of information that you were saying to him, but not the whole story. So I was building a story on the pieces of information I'd built, and then I'd come up with this whole thing, and then as soon as I got internet back, I messaged you going, what the fuck, cunt, if you have a problem with me, message me, cunt, otherwise I'm gonna fucking knock you out, or some shit along those lines. I threaten you with some bullshit which you knew was never gonna happen anyway. And then basically I get kicked off the thread, so I can't even see what's going on in the thread. You wrote a rant in the thread. I know you wrote the rant in the thread because I read it. And then basically I get banned from wrestling, and I go, fuck that bullshit.
I didn't ban you.
I started this company.
Who said that you were banned?
Someone banned me.
I didn't ban you from wrestling.
I was banned. I was not
I
allowed to
say
shop
he's
that day.
not wrestling here. I just said if he wants to leave, he can leave.
The message that was conveyed to me was, you are not allowed to show up to this event. If you show up to any other event, everyone's going to call you a piece of shit. Right? And the biggest problem was because I was talking a shit about Barrett. Right? I was pulling the piss out of Barrett, which I do it a lot, but it's only because he makes it easy. Okay, it's simple as that, right? And I think that the biggest problem that anyone had with me was with Barrett, but someone, I think, it may have just been something that Chaos had mistranslated, but the perception that I had received, was that you are not welcome here anymore, don't show up, whatever. And I went, fuck that bullshit, I'm going to go down there, I'm going to talk to Carl, I'm going to talk to Barrett, I'm going to talk to all these motherfuckers, and I'm going to sort this shit out, because I started this company, I love this company, I built this company up, and I'm going to be damned if anyone fucking thinks they can ban me.
I think it wasn't you were banned from wrestling, it was just like, the problem, I don't know, man, it feels like it was so long ago. The problem was,
I was being an arsehole to everyone.
You had been not very pleasant to a lot of people for a considerable amount of time.
It wasn't like I was intentionally being unpleasant, though. It was more along the lines of, like, I felt it was banter. But
I felt like you were getting worse and worse.
Yeah,
and I was trying to just pull back a little bit and just think about what you say before you say things, especially in a group setting.
I think what it culminated to...
Don't challenge me in front of everyone about one incident that happened fucking ages ago.
I think
just forget about it, put it behind us.
I think one of the main things is the comment I made about the Holocaust. When...
You don't need to repeat it.
When I put the thing up about the wrestling, and then
there was that
Barrett
thing,
commented, and then I made the comment about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Which was well out of line. Like, I'm going to say, like, you don't say that to someone, especially if they're Jewish.
Yeah.
Especially if they're Jewish. But I was in that mind state where, fuck you, cunt, I'm just going to say whatever I can, and if it hurts you the most, I'm going to say it. That's someone, and it wasn't the right thing to do, especially someone who's a part of the Labour Party and considers themselves like a reasonable person.
There's a bunch of isolated incidents which had culminated
and then it culminated
massive heat.
In the facts where the perception I had been given, like, even if it wasn't the case, that's how I'd looked at it, was, you're not allowed here, fuck you, whatever, right? And I went, fuck that bullshit, I'm a man, I have balls, I'm not going to write a huge post on Facebook apologising, I'm not even going to respond to the issue. So I didn't message you except for the what the fuck, I thought we were mates, right? Because you were messaging Chaos, and then Chaos was telling me, and I thought you were kind of like bitching behind my back. But anyway, I decided I'd show up to the event and just try and sort shit out anyway, and I did,
and you did.
I think the fact that, like, I was almost in tears when I was talking to you about it was, like, what really showed you, like, how much it meant to me.
Yeah, and I knew.
Yeah, it was the fact
I was just like, we need to get back on the same page. Let's get back onto that human level with each other and just be friends.
I wasn't actively trying to be a prick. It was like, I wasn't actively being nice, if you know what I mean. Like, it was just like... I think you can see since then I've like made an effort not to.
Since then, you've been completely different, dude.
Because before, like, I wasn't trying to, like, hurt people, but, like, it came across that way. Yeah. I've never set out to go, I don't like you, so I'm going to make your life hell. I've never done that. Never done that in my life, because I've had it happen to me. But, the situation was it was perceived that way, so, you have to cover it in the chin. If someone tells you that you hurt them, you don't decide whether or not you hurt them, right? You hurt them. They said that they hurt you. You don't get to decide whether or not you hurt that person. You cop it on the chin and you say sorry.
That rings with me more true today than any other day.
You cop it on the chin and you go, all right, I fucked up.
Yeah.
Simple as that, and then you move on from it. And we did, and we have, and now I'm here. So,
yeah.
Bang.
Next show. We forget about everything. Go back to normal. Hardcore Hell, 2014. You and your one-time you tag teamed with Kilowatt Chaos in a tables match against Mike Delcano and Clint Marshall. It was a transitional period for you and Chaos, just helping out Delcano and Clint with their feud.
Yep.
Which I'm sure you guys didn't have really a problem with.
They
needed help to keep
you should,
their story
You should have
going.
booked me in Chaos as a tag team, mate.
That would have been really cool. But yeah, it was. You guys really did work well as a team, and then obviously the thing with Delcano and Marshall.
Like, honestly,
but hey, you got to wrestle Clint Marshall and Mike Delcano. So
the thing I'll say about that match is that, like, before then, I really did not have a high opinion of Clint as a wrestler. I think I'd mentioned to you a couple of times, like his match with Lowe that he had, that it looked like he had no effort, no intensity, didn't care, and Lowe was just putting his heart and soul into that match. You know,
yeah, no, I do remember.
That's what it looked to me. You know what I mean? But I had that match with Clint, and it made me realise that that's his style. You know, he has that sort of like that whole monotone aspect to his wrestling.
He tries to make it look effortless.
He tries, yeah, exactly. Yeah. He just tries to make it look like he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the fact that he's doing that means that he does give a shitload of like, yeah. But it elevated my respect for Clint so much, because before then, like the only conversations that me and Clint had was "fuck you, Jew boy," "shut up, mole dick." You know, that was pretty much it. You know, that was pretty much it. Before then, you know, and then after then,
you know what? I was under the impression there was heat between you two. I don't know why.
There was never heat. Like we never really actively disliked each other, but we never really liked each other.
I don't know why.
It was
but
just
I was
like
under the impression you didn't like each other, and I didn't know why.
It was like. It was sort of. I'm talking. I can't speak for Clint, obviously, but
well, in his podcast, he said no. Like I like him.
Yeah, exactly. I'll say the same thing.
I don't know where
I don't have a problem with Clint at all. I will say that 100%. I have never had a problem with Clint, except for the fact that after his match with Lowe, it felt like to me that like he didn't care. But he proved to me that he did care, and that like that's just his style. And now I appreciate his style a lot more.
Yeah.
You know. But you know, it was good not to be dropped on my head by Barrett again. It was good to get a tag with one of my best mates. It was just a fun match. It was just a fun match to be a part of.
Yeah.
It really didn't elevate me or Chaos, but it definitely elevated Barrett and Clint in their feud. So, you know, putting someone over, you know, is just as good a feeling as winning a championship. So, yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
All right, so the transitional period is over, and now I've figured out what I'm doing with you for the foreseeable future, up until right now, actually. The feud with Antilochus is beginning at the next show. We do a hardcore gauntlet for the World Hardcore Championship, which Antilochus does end up winning. You cut a promo on him, I believe, before you and him actually go
saying, what the fuck did you do?
And, you know, fucking laying it all out there, you know. Really good promo, really strong promo, and you guys went out there, had a really good little hardcore battle. He ends up winning the belt after cheating. So the feud begins, which is really exciting, because I'm like, you know what, we haven't seen the best out of these two against one another
I wanted to make the for the start of the feud, right, because we really had no reason to be feuding. Which is why, because you never said for me to
we needed to create a reason.
We didn't have any. You didn't plan any promo for the beginning of the match. You didn't ask me. I asked you if I could cut a promo before the match. And you're like, go for it, man. No worries.
Yeah.
All right. So, because it wasn't even before the match. It was mid-match because it was a gauntlet match, obviously. But Antilochus had Lowe and Marcus help him beat Three Dog in order to get to the last part of the gauntlet in which I come out. I say about how he's changed and how we battled in the ring and forced out all of our angst and hatred for each other, and we became friends, and we finally became friends because that was 100% true as well. That wasn't just a promo. Before we had that huge feud, we hated each other. Jacob and I legitimately had a massive amount of hate between each other. Because I felt like he was the new guy coming in trying to take my spot, because our styles are so similar, our personalities are so similar, with like the same person almost.
But for how long did you guys hate each other?
About 3 months.
Is this just before the feud or just before when WCW was starting?
Like when WCW was starting.
Oh, so when he was backyard champion, were you not happy about that?
When he was backyard champion. Way back when he was backyard champion. Yeah, that's why I fucking dropped him on his hole after the Stairway to Hell. Yep, bang. Alright, but now we're on to here. So what I said in that promo was 100% true. So we legitimately had a lot of heat, backstage heat between each other. And we got over it and became really good friends, and like there was a period there where I had run away from home and I'd fucking stayed at Jacob's for a little bit and talked to him, and I didn't stay at his, I should say. I went over to his and talked to him for a bit, and then I left his and fucking, you know, slept on the street. But that's a different story. But the promo I cut, I felt like I had to make the feud personable to begin with. Like, if I just went out there and we had the match and then the feud carried on from there was nothing to it. There's going to be nothing to it whatsoever. It's like it didn't make sense to me, and if it doesn't make to someone who's involved in the feud, how's it going to make sense to the viewer? So I felt like I had to come out and say that like you've changed. You're not the person I was friends with. You're not the person that we did battle and we made each other become friends. You know, you're no longer that person. You've changed. You've turned into a prick, basically. You know, you're now a prick. I don't like you. I don't like the person you've turned into. I'm gonna try and beat you into the person that you used to be.
Yeah, which is excellent. And he cheated to win. So he got to win the World Hardcore title, and then we're building to Resolution 3 now, which is definitely a match where everyone was very excited to see.
Except for Jack.
Oh, well, we will get to that. Christmas Carnage 2014. You don't wrestle in a match, but you're in the Battle Royal.
No. Oh, sorry, yes, sorry. I thought you said Battlefield Brawl there. Yes, Battle Royal. Yes,
you're in a Battle Royal, yeah. It's a fun little match. Then we get to the Battlefield Brawl. So, I wanted to play up on you not winning the previous year by having you be runner-up, because I wanted people to maybe think, he's going to win it this year. But, your thoughts on, the Battlefield Brawl and Mitch going over.
No, I feel like I'm a fuckwit, that's why. The handspring, man. Why are our ropes so low? Why are our ropes so low? That's like the biggest thing that I have an issue with is that I get in...
Was that as soon as you got in?
As soon as I get in, right, he Irish whips me and I do the handspring over the top rope. Boom. But I will say... super fan, if you are listening, which I highly doubt.
No one else could see.
You are full of shit, mate, because my feet did not touch the ground. They touched the door, which was on the ground. Have you ever played The Ground is Made of Lava? I'm not out, cunt.
Yeah,
I'm still in, dickhead.
The lava, cunt.
Didn't touch the lava.
He's definitely not.
Definitely not. But still.
I don't even think he knows the podcast exists.
Oh, probably not. Thank God he doesn't know it exists. I reckon he's men's abs, to be honest.
There's no way.
Super fan is men's abs.
What do you think of Mitch going over?
Mitch said to me today that he thought the ending of the Battlefield Brawl was shit. And I turned around and I said to him, "What are you talking about, man?" I was like, "You tried to eliminate me twice, in which I kept myself in. Right? I hung outside of the ring. I do the jump into the ring, and then I chop you." Again, right? And you go, son of a bitch, we lock up, I go to throw you out the ring, you reverse it, you chop me, and then you throw me out. I was like...
I liked the finish.
No one would have seen me getting eliminated after a chop. From a knife edge chop.
I thought it was a cool finish.
No one would have seen that coming. I tried to explain it to him that no one would have seen that coming. He's like, we could have come up with a much better ending. And I'm like, dude, are you for real? I was like... There was 3 parts before then where I almost was eliminated. I pulled the fucking Kofi Kingston. No one was happy about that. I was like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, I was like, why are you so down about yourself? Like, Jesus Christ, give yourself a little bit of credit, man. Like, this is Mitch. Like, he's so hard on himself. Like the post he made in Thread the other day about I'm not happy about how Mykonos turned out. You were the only person,
the only guy, and the only guy who ever will have.
Yeah, exactly, both. Exactly. The WZWA Heavyweight Championship and the GBYWN Australian Championship. The only
but it was under the character he never wanted to have.
Why did he become that character then? If he never wanted to be that character,
because he ended up wanting to do that character.
But like in hindsight, he doesn't want to. You're not, mate.
Hindsight's 2020, but I like what he has.
To be honest, Mitch, mate, like if you're, I think the whole reason why you're so down about your character is because you live in Bunbury. That's the only fucking reason. Because before then, like. You were like, I'm going to leave. You're like, and then you move to Bunbury, but you stay? You're not down about your character at all. You're like, you're creating reasons to be down about it.
Yeah.
You need to not be so hard on yourself.
I think he should be proud of what he's accomplished. He's done so many good things, and I think the best
He's never had a bad match.
No.
He's never had a bad match.
He's had heaps of bad matches. He hated his match with 3 Dog at Hard Time this year, and I'm like, it was a fucking great match. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think the reason why he doesn't like him and fucking Aaron too much is because purely because he talks up him and Aaron so much. I think that's why he's always disappointed, because he talks himself up so much. And
with Aaron.
And then, with Aaron, because he's like, Aaron and I have the best chemistry out of everyone, and then they go and have a match, and it's not what he thinks it's going to be, which is why he's so hard on himself when it comes to those style of matches. But every other type of match, it's like, why are you complaining? Why? Like,
I just want him to be happy, and I want to give him the platform to decide on what character he's going to have and what he's going to do, because I want him to be happy. At this point now, I just want him to be happy.
Like, for example, he asked today about the feedback on his character change. He asked for like his little gimmick change that he did at the end of his match. Where he's, like, what gimmick change?
Yeah,
there was none.
Well, we will find out as time rolls along.
But like that sort of little thing that I'm at the stage where I have no idea what to do with my character. I'm like, I don't know if I should buy new gear. I should definitely buy new gear, but like, I'm at the stage where I really have no idea where I'm headed. But I'm not depressed about every single match I have. Like, I appreciate every match I have for the match it is. I take it as the context of the match as itself, unless it's a huge feud.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, so my match with Jacob today, I'm taking it in the context of a huge feud, but my chaos the match I had with Chaos at Lana's Ass, it's not in the huge context. You look at it as the match on match, and like, if you look at it into context of a feud, it makes no sense. It's shit. All right, but in the context of a match in itself, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
So to get back to the Christmas Carnage. The ending of it was brilliant. I liked it. I thought it was fine. We didn't even plan the finish whatsoever. It just happened, and yet he goes, we could have planned something much better. It's like, we didn't plan anything to begin with. So what happened was good.
Agreed. Resolution 3. You take on Antilochus. The first match of the feud. Very, very good match. I guess we'll just talk about the silly moment in the middle of the match.
Yeah, fuck you, Lo. It's your fault.
Lo kept on saying, push Jack off his chair, push Jack off his chair.
And as a face, I had to do it. I had to do what the crowd wanted. I'm sorry, Jack. No, okay.
I know you're both not very happy about what happened.
The backstory of that event was Jack was fuming the entire event, okay? So Jack was in a shit mood, and when I pushed him off his chair, it's what pushed him to boiling level.
What was he in a bad mood for?
I don't know. I really don't know. He was fighting with Luke. He was fighting with the people in his match. He was just in a shit mood. Okay, people get that way.
I guess they just go like his mind frame around the time was not
good anyway. Yeah.
And as we know, after Resolution, things went bad. But let's not talk about it too much.
So basically, so his psychology was bad. Like, okay, mental psychology, not match psychology. Okay. The match I had with Jacob was brilliant. That was the match where I told him to lay into me, and he's like, "Oh, I thought, don't make me stiff you." And I'm like, "Dude," I was like, "I don't care if you stiff me. Like, it happens. Shit happens. I'm gonna deal with it. I don't care." Then I think more than the match itself, what needs to be talked about is what transpired after the match, because after that match, Blade comes, because this is when you announced that you were burnt out, pretty much. I think it was Christmas Carnage that you announced that you were burnt out.
It was Gentleman's Duel.
Was it? Really? Okay.
It was Gentleman's Duel.
So pretty much at this stage, Blade was running the shows at this stage. Not the booking, but he was like, when it came to the shows, he was captain of the ship.
Yeah.
So Blade comes up to me after the show and goes, "You and I are going to go talk to Jack." And I told him to go fuck himself. I was like, I am a grown-up. I can do what I want. I was like, I will talk to Jack when I'm good and ready. Don't fucking tell me what to do. Blade turns around and goes, I'm going to fuck... And he's like, what the fuck are you saying? I was like, fuck off, Blade. I was like, you're not the boss of me, cunt. And he turns around and
I don't know why he would say that to someone as big as him.
Because I did. And Blade... And I turn my back on him and go to walk out the front to where Jack is. Blade goes, I will fucking knock you out, Chris. And I turn up to him and stare him right in his eyes. And I was like, fucking do it then, cunt. Alright, and I could visibly see that he was seething, but I was in the state of mind that, like, I felt like my whole match had been ruined because I pushed Jack off his chair. And so I went out the side. Jack literally fucking just, as soon as I went out there, he didn't even say anything. I didn't even apologise. He just came up to me and gave me a hug and started crying. So, like, that just shows the mental state that he was in as well.
He must have been stressed.
So it wasn't Jack's fault at all.
Poor guy.
It wasn't really my fault at all either. It was just a situation. It was a bad situation, right? But I had more beef with Blade than I did with Jack because of that. And at the show, I went up to Blade afterwards, after I apologised to Jack, and I went up to him like, I'm sorry, man. Blade told me 3 times before he accepted my apology to go fuck myself. And Blade's the nicest guy as well. Like, I was going up to him. And then I think, like, at the end of the show, because, like, I apologised to him, I apologised to him again. I tried to apologise to him again, and he, like, looked away from me.
Yeah.
And then, at the end of the show, after the main event, when I was about to leave, I just went up to him, I'm like, look, man, I was like, if you're going to be angry with me, that's fair enough, but I just want you to know that I'm really sorry. And he stood up and gave me a hug, so it was all over and done with, you know.
Good. I over Red Rover.
You know, and that's the resolution story there, that you know, we really, like, just went out there, set out to do the best match possible. I pushed Jack off his chair because Lowe kept screaming it throughout the match. Jack was in the worst mind state possible.
Yeah.
And just the turmoil was incredible. And but, like, by the end of the show, it was all good. So, you know, that's the end of that story.
So, how did you feel about... I think it was 5 people at the time retired on the same show. How did you feel about seeing guys like Lowe?
Lowe should never left.
Clip Marshall, Mike Delcano, Alex Stone.
Well, Alex is understandable because he's trying to focus on his music career and actually, like, make a career out of it, you know, where he's making legitimate money. So that's understandable. Barrett is understandable. Lowe doesn't make sense whatsoever, though. That dumbfounds me. Why did he leave?
He said he doesn't watch wrestling anymore.
He doesn't.
He's not interested in wrestling.
I haven't watched wrestling in 2 years. I haven't watched any wrestling in 2 years. I haven't watched a pay-per-view in, like, 2 years. Right? I didn't even watch WrestleMania.
I just think he's just not passionate about doing it as well anymore.
Yeah. Like, it's fair enough if you turn around and go, look, man, like, I feel burnt out. I don't want to wrestle anymore. Fair enough. Don't give us bullshit excuses like, I don't watch wrestling anymore. I don't watch this. It's like, if you feel burnt out and that you're not committed anymore, say it. Don't give us these bullshit fucking little responses that you are currently giving. Because Lowe, he left at the peak, man. He left at the peak. He was at his very best. Like, he was putting on 5 out of 5 matches consistently, man, with, like, people like Zibby and, you know, and Phaser. Yeah, exactly. Like, this little fucking...
Like, they should not have had a good match, because they don't even know each other, but they went out there and they just...
I'm sorry, but I'm going to say that it was Marcus's fault. I truly believe that it was Marcus's fault, even though he's not back wrestling now. I think the reason why he's not wrestling now, currently, is because he'd already left. But I think that if, like, Marcus had never got in his ear about anything...
But Marcus he would still be here. And he don't even hang out
anymore. Exactly. But when he left, they were like butt buddies.
Lowe was actually going to come today to watch, but he couldn't. He said, I thought it was a night show, but he said, I'm definitely going to come to the next one to watch. So I want him to come back just every now and then.
As soon as he left, I've spoken to him once since he's left.
But hey, he committed to doing Commissioner's Cup. He's like, I want to do Commissioner's Cup. I'll do the tournament. So hopefully we've got him for that. Anyway, let's keep going. Oh, actually, I want to ask you what you think about the diffuser thing that happened at Resolution 3.
Oh, sick.
And how fun was that?
Do you know what was funny, though? Do you know what was funny? Is I went to go and chuck a piss right before the end of the match. So I saw Diffuser sitting down in the fucking lounge room, hiding from everyone else. I was the only person to see him before the match. Yeah, I went to go and chuck a piss just before the match was over. And I saw him sitting there.
Was he wearing his mask?
No, he wasn't wearing his mask yet. He was just sitting there, and he asked me where the light switch was so he could turn off all the lights. Yeah. He asked me where the light switch was, and then just goes, shh. I didn't say a word. When Chuck to Piss came out and didn't say a word.
Then you saw him.
Yeah, saw him came out, and I popped like a madman. Like, I knew he was coming out, but you know. Even though you know he's coming out, you don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So, like...
He didn't know if he was going to help.
He could have just come out and just stood there and just caused a distraction and then left.
Yeah.
But no, he just fucking killed Ryan, just killed everyone. That's what he did.
Yeah. Well, very cool,
That was awesome. But
I just wanted to see what you thought about certain
I'm glad, because you didn't know that. You didn't know that.
No, that's
exactly.
Very interesting, because he didn't even mention it in his podcast.
No.
Saw someone and asked someone how to turn off the light.
No, I went backstage because I needed to chuck a piss, and he was sitting there, and as soon as I saw him sitting there, I was like, this cunt's getting involved.
Because he was sitting on the couch.
No, he was sitting down behind the retaining wall.
Oh, okay.
You got the stairs, and then there's the little retaining wall. Yeah, he was just sitting there right next to the stairs, hiding like next to... He had like 5 bags around him. He was like trying to conceal himself with the bags. It was hilarious.
He just wanted to make it as special as he could.
Oh, yeah. And then like as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, hey, man, how you going? And then he just goes... Shh.
Do you agree Resolution 3 was the best show we've ever done?
I've
heard from a lot of people
it's hard to top Resolution 1, man.
You reckon?
Yeah, because
that was a pretty good show.
The quality of wrestling in Resolution 1 wasn't as good. I'll say that, but the atmosphere was just as good.
Oh, the atmosphere was phenomenal.
I think what makes Resolution 3 better is NC Viper vs Ice.
There you go. I was about to mention it.
Yeah, that's what makes it better. Is because we had the pro.
Okay, fucking forget about it. Yeah. You know, you got NC Viper versus Dark Ice.
Yeah, exactly.
You're winning. You're winning.
Exactly.
And I think a rematch one day down the line will be amazing.
Viper's mentioned to me like 3 times now that he wants to face Ice again. So yeah, exactly.
They'd have a full match.
He also invited me, Ice, and Chaos to participate in like his Royal Rumble that he used to hold.
I'm going to be in it.
Yeah. He invited me.
Is it the Battle Royals or the Royal Rumble?
The Battle Royal. Royal Rumble. Whatever it is. Stomping ground.
Yeah. I think he's doing a Battle Royal, and he invited me to be a part of it. So
it's so funny, man. I'll imagine
how fun would that be us for?
If we didn't do this podcast and we all just show up not knowing that all of us are showing up.
Until we were actually in the ring. What the fuck are you doing here, man?
Hey, man.
See you backstage.
Hey, man. Long time no see.
All right, let's keep going. Hard time for you take on Deacon, DK Joker, as he's known at the time. He hasn't turned heel yet. Yes, you wanted to, at that time you started saying to me, I want to start working with the younger guys, I want to work with the Deacons, the Kyles, the Aces, you want to start working with them and helping them out.
No, it wasn't even that. I just said that I want to face Deacon, I want to feud with Deacon, and I want to work with Deacon.
Was it after Deacon, then you said you'd also like to wrestle... I'm sure you said Kyle and
I said I'd like to put the younger guys over. I never specifically mentioned anyone else besides Deacon. Okay, honestly, right?
What do you like about him? I think you've got a soft spot for him. You're the first one to have the soft spot for him.
I see so much potential in him. Everyone loves Kyle, and I don't know why. Okay, I see why, because he does all the flips, right? In my mind, I see more potential for a really great, like, technical wrestler in Deacon, and that's what I love about.
But have you seen a sudden turn in everyone's thoughts?
Since I got involved with Deacon. Before I got involved with Deacon, no one gave 2 shits.
I don't think anyone noticed until we turned heel.
Yeah, I would say that the heel turn helped, but I think I was the first person to actually like push for Deacon to get anywhere. Like literally, like besides Deacon himself, and I don't even think he did it for himself.
So Hard Time 4, how did you feel you went with him?
It would have been so much better if it wasn't fucking raining. Okay, the Irish
whip.
It's
a shit day, man.
The Irish... when I get him into the corner and I went to clothesline him, but he moved, my knee buckled on me because of the rain. I slipped and my knee buckled, and for the rest of the match, my knee was so sore. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't walk properly or anything. I was so annoyed at myself because, like, I just fucked my knee up, like, in the first 2 minutes, and, like, I was not able to wrestle it like as good as I wanted to. And
hey, think about me. I blew my knee out at the Battlefield Ball 2013. I hurt my knee again against Alex, and then I've got to wrestle Rusty later on, and my knee's fucked, and I feel like I could have done a better performance, but so I know how it feels.
Yeah, so like I'm sorry for Deacon, because like we could have had such a better match. So it could have been match of the fucking show, man. Like legitimately.
Man, and you know what? There wasn't much to contend with.
There wasn't that show.
The show was dreadful. So like, to come off the heights of Resolution 3 and Hard Time 4 was without a doubt one of the worst shows we've ever had.
Yeah, and like I feel.
But I'll say you and Deacon was a bright spot in the show.
Yeah, but like we could have had like such a better match as well. Like I was like literally the last 10 minutes of the match, I am in like agony the whole time, just trying to push through the pain, and I feel bad for Deacon. Like,
but he got a win over you.
Yeah,
so that was a.
I wanted him to get the win, but like realistically, like in order to have a better match, I should have just called it after I hurt my knee. But I wanted to try and give him more time, to shine.
Fair enough.
It didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And hopefully I get another chance to work
with
with
Deacon.
Deacon.
Get another chance to work with Deacon.
I meant
false
singles.
finish.
Singles,
Obviously, but you did get another chance to work with him. False finish, playing off what happened in the match at Resolution 3.
I think that was an okay match. I think that the problem with that match was actually Deacon. No offense. I think he doesn't really understand the flow of a three-way.
Did you think that was prominent in today's show when they had that match?
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah, the flow of the three-way. Like, he doesn't fully understand.
I was hearing Blade told me it's not going so well.
Yeah, if you're the guy that's down, right, you sell and you get up and you set up the next spot. You let the other two guys work while you set up a spot.
Yeah.
That's typically how it goes, you know. Deacon was just like, as soon as he got back up, he was just throwing weak punches at both of us. Like whoever was like on their knees or on their feet, he'd go.
It's probably just some growing pains. He's just still learning.
Yeah, he's still young. He's still young. He's still got time to go. Like when I was 17, this is literally a year ago. I was still shit. So like, you know, at Resolution 2. So like, you know,
I should have had him cut a promo today.
Me versus what? Yeah. Deacon is at the stage that I was at when like I was his age. You know, like I know he's only a year younger than me. So, but like, you know, Deacon, mate, like in a year's time, mate, you could be at a top-notch level. You know, Kyle, I see taking longer because Kyle is more focused on flips and shit. You know,
but what do you think of Kyle in ICWS in comparison to WCWA? I think his
how much better, so much better in ICWS. Sorry, because he doesn't get to do so many fucking flips.
Yeah,
that's his problem. Is that he's always thinking about the flips. You know,
that's true.
And that's when it comes
so
down.
far.
Yeah, that's when it comes down to like the elements of WCWA. There's so much more that you have to work with.
Yeah,
and that your brain is overloaded with information, and you just can't make the right decision.
Yeah,
well, yes, you can, but like it's harder to make the right decision. Like in ICWS, you have just two decisions. You know, you bump on the mat or you bump on the outside. Done. Those are your decisions. So yeah, for someone to have a brilliant match in ICWS, I think it's easier than to have a brilliant match in WCWA. Definitely easier. So like the people that are consistently having brilliant matches in WCWA, I consider better wrestlers than the ones that consistently have better matches at ICWS. But I think that the environment plays a huge difference. Like, for example, like even if I'm just using professionals now. Like if you get like Hayden
Zenith,
Hayden Zenith. I couldn't think of his last name for then. Yeah, Hayden Zenith. Him in EPW is fucking like glorious. He's amazing. And as soon as he's in the AAW, he turns to shit. Soon, and it's not because of the other person's fault. It's not because I've seen him play matches with other people. It's just the environment he's in. It's a different atmosphere, and it suddenly just changes him. You know, and I think Hayden's a fucking brilliant wrestler. I think he's a top bloke as a person as well. Like I love him. Like he's a nice guy, but like, you know, the different environments play a huge role in how you wrestle.
Alright, so the next show is Bowl of Mixed Nuts, which is a bit of a fucking dig to AEW.
Yeah, because they charged over $1,000 for a bowl of mixed nuts.
I still consider this match, as far as I was concerned, this is one of the most important matches in WCWA history. That's how I feel, because it's the four guys who were there at the beginning, before any of us were involved. You and Jack against Monet and Antilochus.
I loved that match.
What an awesome match. And you guys, you know, you could tell you guys were going balls to the wall, let's fucking do this, let's fucking have a great fucking
do you know
match.
What? I legitimately took the front seat in that match. I decided that I was going to plan like the majority of it. I was like, fuck you guys. So I went out there with the idea that I was going to be top dog. Sorry, wrong. I went out there with the idea that I really wanted to get Luke over as a heel, I wanted to get Jack over as a face, and I wanted to get Jacob being scared of me over. Yeah. That's the main thing I wanted to be over, is that Jacob was scared of me. So I start the match with Jacob, and then he gets Luke in straight away. Just doesn't even lock up when he gets Luke in. So then me and Luke wrestle. I get the upper hand on Luke, but then as soon as I go to tag Jack and he cuts me off with the brutalest chop block you'll ever see in the history of wrestling. It was DJ went, oh my fucking shit! Like as soon as it happened, he shat his pants. So I thought
very good impression of his voice as well, by the way.
Oh fucking shit! But I really felt that because the majority of my career I've led every match. I've been like. The majority of the match I've been in
ring
control.
General.
You know what I mean?
The ring general.
I wanted to take a back seat. I wanted Luke and Jacob to work me the fuck down and then get Jack in. And when Jacob cuts Jack off when he's mid-air, Jack was supposed to drop Jacob at 2 clotheslines and then hit his finisher, but Jacob forgot the spot. Okay. So that's why he just punches him mid-air.
Okay.
Right? Because Jack was supposed to get a huge shine then. It was me. I was getting worked on. Luke and Jacob were getting the heat. I get worked on. Luke cuts me off like 3 times. Then I finally get the tag. Jack comes in, gets this huge shine.
Yeah, it was a good shine.
Everyone was going to like
very
pop,
good shine.
and then boom, Jacob cuts him off.
Yeah,
but it sort of worked out anyway. But even Ryan came up to me after the match, and he's like, "I'm really like," he's like, "I'm glad to see that you took the back seat in this match. That you were the one getting worked on rather than doing the working."
Yeah,
And I
it was probably something that Jack needed as well.
And it also translated, because no offense to Jack, but I feel like that if I'm wrestling like at full caliber and not getting worked on, I can outshine Jack like that, like easily, And it's not like anything against him. It's just that he's a bit scared of like pain. You know what I mean? He's scared of pain. Me, I embrace that shit. Like I love it. Like come at me.
But if you compare the Jack in this match to the Jack that performed today, it's
so much better.
Two different people.
So much better.
It's 2 different people.
I think it also has something to do with DJ being with him as well. I
know, and we needed DJ with him today.
Yeah. But like in that match, like I just really wanted to get over the fact that I'm not just that one-trick pony, you know what I mean? That like, it was for me, but it was more for the other guys at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it was for me to let all these other people know that like I'm not just some egotistical bastard that has to like get all the moves in the match. Like I don't have to hit a single move for it to be a brilliant match.
Yeah.
I wanted to try and prove that to the boys, and I did, and I'm really glad with that match. And I think that like. Even the fact that I jumped in with the promo that 1990 Awesome did at the end, I walk in halfway through and join them. I think that like it also gives you extra booking possibilities in the future as well. Like if you ever wanted me and DJ or me and Jack as well, like a year down the line, like it's possible now purely because of that match, that little bit there. But I'm really, really glad that I decided to take the back seat in that match and just get worked on like pretty much the whole time.
Yep. All right.
I think it was I think the ending was a bit stuffed up, but that's because of Monet's editing on the full matches where he cuts out the ending where Mitch comes out. It's 2 videos.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because he cut it. It was one whole video, but he cut it.
I don't know why he did it. I don't
understand either, but whatever. That's because Anthony commented on the tag team match, going, what happened at the end? And I'm not sure if it was you or Jack or whoever has access to the
There's a bunch of people
to the comment to the actual
WWA,
channel.
to
the actual channel. I'm not sure who actually has access. I used to have access, but they changed the password on me.
Oh man, we've changed password a few times.
Yeah. But like I used to have access back in 2012. But Anthony Husband commented on that thing, going, good to see the boys get a win, but I want to see what happened after the end of the match. Like with the brawl, and it's like, well, if you didn't cut the match, Luke,
should have cut it,
then that wouldn't have happened.
Just a bit overzealous.
But you know, it's also increasing our view revenue though, because it's forcing people to go. If you want to see the rest of this match, you have to click on another video.
Oh yeah, it is smart though. Okay, Luke, all right. If you're listening, that is smart.
Yeah, you're forcing people now.
You are brown, but that's good.
Yeah, you're forcing people to create more views. If you want to see the entire match, you have to click on another video.
Man, we're killing it on YouTube right now. We're killing it.
We're destroying all the professional companies.
Yeah, dude, we're about 60 ahead of EPW, I think.
Yeah, and subscribers, and we're about
and
20.
We're about 600 and something.
Yeah, we're also like 20,000 views above like every other company besides EPW.
Yeah,
EPW is, I think, it's like 10,000 views above us. That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So like,
But, you know,
we're coming for you, nigga.
Yeah. Okay, the next show, Frostbite. You are against Chaos for the number 1 contendership. Chaos did challenge for the title at Bowl of Mixed Nuts, so I thought it made sense for you guys to battle for the number 1 contendership, because I wanted that one more match between you and Antilochus, which will be coming up at the show that happened earlier today. So your thoughts on your match with Chaos? I thought it was a very decent battle.
I think it was
I haven't had a
decent
chance to watch it back yet because the brown fuck has still not uploaded it. But good match.
I feel like it was up there with I would say it's mid-level, like really, like out of the matches that Chaos and I have had.
It was solid.
I still think that our best one is the one that we had at ICWS recently. I think that was. Like,
I think Lana's ass.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Lana's ass is second.
Okay.
In my opinion, you know, but
the death match too in 2012 was actually pretty decent. So
yeah, it was good for the time, but if you look at it retrospectively,
it doesn't hold up.
Yeah. So like the match with Chaos was solid, decent, crisp. You couldn't ask for much more, but we could have delivered much more. At the same point, to put it really into perspective, Chaos is the only person that doesn't complain when I don't plan with him. Like he always complains to me or Ice. Like when Zibby wasn't playing with him, he was complaining about it. And when Jacob wasn't, but for some reason, when it comes to me, he knows that I don't like planning much, so he just goes with it, and he knows that we'll be able to pull off a decent match. So like, yeah,
okay,
it was a decent match. It was a solid match. I think it's. I think it really. I don't know really what to say here. It sort of elevated my feud with Jacob slightly because I get that win over Chaos in WCWA. Like finally, because I beat him once.
You beat him with ass.
Oh, yeah, that was. Yeah,
it was a clean win.
It was a clean win, but like. Besides that, which was like a makeshift event, the only other win I've had against him was when Ice got involved. Yeah. So for me to get this win was like I'm ready. I can challenge for that title. Mm-hmm. I'm top dog. You know?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we get to today's show. In hindsight, now looking back, should have got you to cut a promo.
Oh yeah,
because you've done this thing with Chaos. But there was no real interaction with you and Antilochus on that show because he was doing the thing with Mykonos.
No, exactly.
So I think there should have even been a promo, one with Chaos at Frostbite, or there should have been a promo today. I should have said something, but
now looking back at it, my promo after the tag match doesn't really make sense now either. Because I was like, I'm coming for you, Antilochus. You may have destroyed my knee, but I'll destroy you. You know. I see what you meant. I also said to Justin after the match, I was like, you should have come out and said that Monet is banned from ringside, and he's like, yeah, that actually makes sense as well.
Yeah.
So
I should even when I was ring announcing, I should have said, and Commissioner JD Flamer has banned Luke Monet from ringside.
Yeah, like just little things, but it's hard to see when you're in the moment, you know. But
And I'm six beers deep into the night. So
yeah, I think it was a good match. I think it's probably. It was brutal. That it didn't top the first one, but nothing will top the first one. Nothing will. But I think it was up. I think like if you take it just as a normal, say, ladder match, I think it's above par. I think for a Stairway to Hell, out of the 3 Stairway to Hells that we've had, it's on par with you and Alex. But nothing will top the first one. Nothing will.
Okay. All right.
And I'll also say that my fucking shoulder's still really sore from that barbed wire spot. Cunt.
Hey, you got 2 lines, right?
Yeah.
I got 2 lines on my chest last year.
I got 2 lines on my chest as well.
I got these ones here. You can't see this on the podcast.
Yeah, you can't see my nipple on the podcast either. But
so that was from today.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that'll scar.
And there's 2 on my back.
Because I like the fact that people are getting scars from this Stairway to Hell match. So next year when we get Stairway to Hell 5, I don't know who's going to be in it.
I also knew. I was like, either Jacob and I have to bleed just because Blade bled, and his didn't involve barbed wire or anything.
Didn't even mean it to happen.
Didn't have barbed wire or nothing. I said to Jacob before the match, I was like, one of us have to bleed. And then, like, we didn't even think about, like, a blade spot in the match at all. Like, when I had the barbed wire wrapped around his throat, we weren't even thinking. The only thing that I thought of when I had the barbed wire wrapped around his throat was, don't get it trapped in his hair, otherwise the match is fucked.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I was thinking of, was, don't get it tangled in his hair.
Because otherwise, then you're fucked.
Yeah, otherwise we're fucked for 15 minutes,
that fucking hair of his.
You know? So, like, that's all I was doing, was concentrating on not getting it in his hair. and not slicing his jugular vein. That too.
Alright, so we're at the end of your WCW career, but before we end, what does Antilochus mean to your career?
Oh, Jacob's another one of my mates. Like,
let's think about it. This is 9 months in for this year.
It's a long time.
November it started. That's an 11-month feud.
Fucking Jesus. That's a long feud.
But when you think about it, okay, we only have one show every 6 months, but still, it's an 11-month feud. Every 2 months, every 2 months, yeah.
2 shows every for 6 months.
Yeah.
Cool.
But that's, pretty decent feud. What does it mean to your career?
Well, okay.
I still don't think you guys are done.
No, Jacob and I will never be finished. Jacob and I are the two people that will, like, feud forever. It's like Ice and Chaos.
It's like James Storm and Bobby Roode.
Yeah, Bobby
Roode.
That thing never fucking ends. It never ends. Exactly. Like, we could tag and then feud and then not do anything for 5 years and then feud and then not do anything for 3 years and then tag or what. It doesn't matter. It does not matter what is going to happen between us. Like, whatever does transpire will be brilliant.
All right.
Bang on. And I know Jacob might get a bit offended that I don't consider him the caliber of, like, Ice and Chaos, but, like, for the last year or so, Jacob and I really haven't been as good of friends as what we used to be. Like, and
I think better days are ahead.
Yes, definitely. Like, as soon as Jacob's, like, not having to deal with year 12 and, all that type of shit, I believe we'll get back to that.
I think you two just need to get back to basics.
Yeah,
just hang out and just have a good chat.
Just have a chill, not like, there's just
don't have to get on the bongs.
Yeah, of course we do, mate. Of course we do.
No, you can roll a joint. You don't have to on the bongs, though.
It's a waste. It's a waste.
You can get on the buckets, but not the bongs, alright?
Just get more fucked up.
Yeah.
We'll have a few dabs and see what goes on.
Alright, so that's the end of your timeline so far. There's still more to come, obviously, but that's the end of the timeline as we're at right now. So, Rex, we're getting on to the Q&A, and we're only at 51 minutes, so we're doing well.
Brilliant.
Okay. Dan Zeppelin has got several questions. Brilliant questions.
Lovely.
You're not allowed to read them until I say them.
Not lucky.
First question. Do you feel like you have reached the success you deserve, or do you think you should receive more recognition for your abilities?
Fuck's sake, Dad, I'm doing an interview with the Booker Cup. Okay. Alright, I'll say that I want to achieve more. I feel like I should be allowed to achieve more, but I really don't care at this point in time. I feel what I care about now is just wrestling with my mates. Like that's my biggest concern at the moment. Like,
is that because we almost lost WCW?
Yeah, that is pretty much like no, it's not. I think I told you like 6 months before we almost lost WCW that I don't care about winning the title anymore. Like my biggest concern is like putting the younger guys over and fucking giving people like Ace and Deacon and Kyle like their spotlight chance. Like I think that gives me more of like a heartwarming moment, like seeing Steel get fucking a huge pop than winning a title. Actually, that's a bigger moment for me. Is like having one of these young guys that like everyone thinks that they're just fucking shit. Putting one of them over and making people realize like, oh, like this guy's actually can do something. That is a bigger achievement than winning a title, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question from Dan Zeppelin. Out of all the Yard Boys, who have been some that of the most supportive who have stuck by you?
Ice Chaos DJ.
I think we knew.
Ice Chaos DJ.
I think we already knew that.
Ed Antilochus.
Next question: how's wrestling improved you as a person in your everyday life?
I'd say it hasn't. It's probably made me worse of a person. To begin with, now I would say I'm a bit of a better person. But to begin with, I think that it increased my ego and made me a worse person to begin with.
And dude, don't get angry at yourself over it, because I had an ego in XCW. So
yeah.
Everyone has it when they're in the early days of
yeah,
backyard.
yeah.
Like Mitch, he had one match in ICWS, and he's already asking for when he was winning the title. Like everyone has that ego when they first start.
Yeah, I'd say that like it brought me down like tenfold to begin with, but now I'd say that I'm a much more rounded person. And I've made friendships that will last a lifetime, and like, there's nothing more you can really ask other than that.
That's what it's about, man.
You know?
It's just about.
It's not professional fucking wrestling. You're not making millions of dollars, or in Zack Ryder's case, hundreds of dollars. You're not at that.
See, pro wrestling, you're just doing something, but in backyard wrestling, you're creating memories that you remember when
exactly.
You're older.
The difference is like we're in it for the passion. Like, wrestling is a business. Like, professional wrestling, first and foremost, is a business. How can we make money? That's what it's about. And you know what? It's probably a good thing that I'm doing like a communist/socialist gimmick when it comes to ICWS, because like, when it comes down to the money-making side of wrestling, that's what's destroying wrestling the most, is the fact that everyone is like, how can we make the most money? It's just blurring everyone's vision. All they care about is that dollar sign. And I get more fulfillment in my life, like, helping other people than I do from that dollar sign. So it comes back to the point that how has wrestling improved me as a person? Like, wrestling is a capitalist industry which is destroying the world. That is my personal opinion. However, when you look at it from a WZWA perspective, it's the best thing for society, because it's creating bonds. Like, I live in a middle class society. All right, we have people from wrestling like JD Flame and Steel. Steele's dad drives a fucking Maserati, for crying out loud. Like, he's a rich motherfucker. Okay? And then we have people like DJ, who's working class as fuck. Like, it brings all types of people together. It brings you could be rich as a motherfucker, you can be poor as a motherfucker, you could be a crackhead, you could be straight edge, and it doesn't matter. As long as you have that passion for wrestling, you're instantly accepted.
Exactly. It's like, it doesn't matter what our backgrounds are.
Yeah, it doesn't.
We have the same passion.
As long as we have that passion for wrestling,
Exactly.
There,
And that's what brings us all together.
Yeah.
Because in any other situation, like, we wouldn't know each other.
Yeah, really. Like, if it wasn't for wrestling, I would never talk to a couple of people at wrestling. Like, I find them, like, some of their ideas about, like, the world, I find them to be like fascist ideas, but that's my perspective. But that's why I don't talk about that at wrestling. When we are at wrestling, we talk about wrestling. And that's what the common interest is. That's what brings people together. And I find that, like, if you look at WWE, it separates people. It creates divides, Like, when I was talking to Shelton Benjamin, I asked him what his thoughts on Shawn Michaels was. He goes, he's a fucking cunt, and then stands up and walks away from me. That's exactly what happened.
Unbelievable.
So like, you think about that. Him and Shawn Michaels aren't friends, yet they had like 20 matches together, right? Yeah. I would consider everyone I wrestle a friend. Like, even if I don't agree with what their beliefs are, they're still friends, because we're not fighting for Vince McMahon's approval. Like, we're fighting for, like, your approval, and your approval, like, no offense, doesn't really, like, mean shit when it comes to the world.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to the world, it doesn't matter. When it comes, because we're not making a living off of you.
Exactly.
We're not. It's just wrestling.
If you want to bet a spot,
it's a fake
whatever,
fucking sport.
then sure. But what you're trying to do is just create great memories
just have
together.
Have fun. Yeah, exactly.
And
the people who get into backyard wrestling with ego, people like Brandon Cage, who come in there going, I want this, I want that, I want this. That's the wrong attitude to come into it with.
Yeah, because that's going to go nowhere.
No, you're not going to get any respect.
Where is he now?
Yeah, the people that get the most respect are the people that shut their mouth, keep their head down, arse up, go straight to work. That's the people that get the respect. People like Ryan. Ryan doesn't ask for shit yet. He's the first person at the show and the last person to leave. Yeah. So, like, that's what garners respect.
Dan Zeppelin again. What is your opinion on wrestlers taking drugs during shows? When is it acceptable, and how should it be done, if at all?
I don't give a shit. It's your own person. If you injure me, then I have a problem. Other than that, I don't care. Like if it affects, like, for example, like, right, if you want to get into that, then people should not be drinking at shows. So you shouldn't be drinking alcohol at shows, right? Right. If you want to get into that subject, no one should be drinking alcohol. No one should be smoking weed. No one should be having cigarettes. You know, if that's your perspective, then no one should be doing anything, right? I've wrestled many matches, baked as a motherfucker, and it's not mattered, right? The only time that it should matter is if you're putting the person you're working with at risk.
Or if it has affected your ability to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Acid once had to tell me before a match, I can't go out there now, I'm too high.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I don't care if you're too high. You're going out there now and you're wrestling because this show needs to keep fucking rolling.
Exactly.
I don't have 2 hours to wait for you to get less high.
Exactly.
It was your fucking problem to go out and hotbox in a fucking car
that's where,
while 2 matches were going on. That's your problem,
That's
dude.
where the person comes down to it, you know, man? Like, there's been plenty of times where I've gone out and sat in, like, Josh's car and had a couple of cones before I've had a match, right? But I know my limit. I know the person I am.
You didn't go over.
It's a personal thing, right? Right. If you get
like, okay, I have 6 beers and I'll wrestle a match. Yeah. I know my limit. I don't drink a fucking bottle of vodka then wrestle a match because I know it will fucking be terrible.
You know, it's like,
I know 6 beers is just
and like maybe okay. I think that it's acceptable once in backyard wrestling. It's not acceptable ever in professional wrestling. Yeah. But in backyard wrestling, I think it's, for example, Christmas Carnage, where Alex yacked his hole during the brawl. You know, okay, all right, you know, that one was acceptable. Okay?
But we let it slide because it's just funny.
It was just an accident, right? Like, throughout the entire night, like, over 10 hours, right, he got sloshed. Yeah. You know, and it's not like he set out to get drunk or he set out to get baked.
No,
or
it just happened.
It just happened. It just happened to happen.
But if it happens all the time, then there
becomes the issue. Like, when people were, like, leaving matches to go and, like, fucking smoke.
That's when I had a problem with it.
That's when there's a problem. I never did that.
I didn't have a problem with it.
I never did that.
I only had a problem with it when people went and did it and they missed matches.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the problem comes.
It's like, motherfucker, they saw your match, you fucking watched their match.
It's very self-centered when that happens, you know? Like, my match with Ice, right? Halfway through it, this is the it is the no DQ match, not the 3 stages up. This is no DQ match. Chaos and Aaron left 20 minutes before the match happened to go to mine and have a sesh, right? And then they
your house,
my house.
That is a big no.
Right. And then they rocked up right at the end of the match. You see in the recap the motorbike rock up, right, with Aaron driving it, and it's like through the match. And Chaos comes up to me after the match and he's like, "I'm fucking so sorry, man." He's like, "I didn't know." He's like, "Aaron took forever," and like all this. I was like, "Man, I don't give a fuck about your excuses, right? You should have been there." Straight up, like, you didn't need. You didn't need, like, for example, right?
I can't believe they would go all the way to someone's house.
Well, I do only live on 10 minutes.
I know, but there's a match going on. Don't leave the suburb as far as I'm concerned.
You know, exactly.
If you want to go to the deli to get lunch, that's in the same suburb.
No worries. Like, you're only going up the road block. Like, but at the same point, like, if you're, and you can't. I'm not talking from Noel's perspective either. If you just, like, go down to the beach, right, and you want to have a couple of cones, or you go out the front and you sit in your car, or you have a joint while you're sitting on the cinder blocks, or whatever.
I reckon that's fine.
Okay, I think that's fine. There's no worries. Okay, but as soon as you put one of the other boys at risk, or you miss a match, that's when there's a problem.
Yeah,
that is where there's a problem, because there's been events where after the first Hardcore Hell match, Chaos and I are sitting on the cinder blocks afterwards because there's another 2 matches on that show. Right, we're sitting on the cinder blocks and we shared 2 joints while we were watching the show. We were watching the show. We did it away from the crowd. Noel didn't see anything. You know, it just looked like we were having a cigarette.
Yeah,
that's it.
And that's fine.
That's
dude. It's just
there's no worry. There's no problem about that. It's not like someone smoking crack in the middle of the crowd.
Yeah,
you know?
that's the one we've got a problem.
You know. But like, this is a hard question to answer because there's right times and there's wrong times. You know?
All right, well, let's get on to the next one. I think we've covered every aspect of it. The next one is, if Monet wasn't brown, do you think he would have been booked better or worse?
Who asked that question?
Dan Zeppelin.
Yeah, Dan, you're a fuckwit. That's my answer.
For how long do you see yourself continuing backyard wrestling? Are you still planning on going pro again?
Well, okay. 2 weeks ago, I messaged Carl when I was in Geraldton telling him I was going back to AEW. I messaged AEW like last week telling them to go fuck themselves. So, yeah, it's mixed emotions. It depends on like where you are in your situation.
Go to AEW, dude.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I know, man, but like...
Now we've got to that, now we're talking about AEW. Don't go back. They didn't use you right before. They're not going to use you right again.
In the same point,
you're going to be a body, and that's it.
But in the same fucking point, you look at TJ Maxx. It took TJ Maxx a year to get to where he is.
They don't have any respect for you, dude.
No, they don't. But people like no. You're wrong. People that don't have respect for me is Grace. That's it. Because Shark has always tried to help me. Target's always been a top bloke to me. TJ Maxx has always been a top bloke. Craven's always been a top bloke.
Look,
it's
just
Grace. It's just Grace and Joey. Joey Angel and Grace. That's the biggest problem with AEW. And you will agree. You will agree.
I will say that Brad and Shark are a problem too.
I'd say
Brad's a big problem with
Brad,
AEW.
Yeah, I didn't think about Brad. I would agree there.
I would say Shark's no. I would say Shark's a very nice guy and he's got a good heart. But he's got a very closed mind and he won't see a different point of view.
Shark's given me more opportunities than everyone else. Every single time I've been booked is because of Shark.
Wasn't Shark the one that said you weren't ready for TV, but Just Jordan is?
No, that was Grace.
He said that to me.
Really?
Shark said it to me.
Well,
and I told you Shark said it to me ages ago.
Yeah, I remember that. That was that Mira Booker.
And that's when I was outraged. I was like, how was Chris not fucking ready? And you let Just Jordan, who can't even run the ropes properly, on TV. Fuck you. Don't say that shit. Because I pitched the 7-month storyline I pitched for you.
Yeah.
For your debut as Chris Parker to be put over by me and Tyler Throne.
Yes.
That was what was going to happen.
Yeah,
the rookie was going to get a big...
It's the 1-2-3 kid.
The 1-2-3 kid moment.
But do you know what's hilarious? Like 2 months before you pitched that idea, I said in training, they asked in training, if you could emulate one wrestler, who would it be? And I went 1-2-3 kid. I didn't say X-Pac at all.
1-2-3
I said 1-2-3 kid. That's who I want to emulate in the ring.
Well, that's exactly the same storyline that I pitched. Was that you were going to get the big win,
and I'm pretty
over
sure
someone that finally got.
And I'm pretty sure that's the first knowledge you've heard of me saying that is that's what I pitched, was like if I could beat anyone. There was a dickhead in our ring who said he wanted to be John Cena. There was some dickhead who said I want to be Stone Cold, and there was another, and then there was Kitty Cat Raw who said she wanted to be Karma. I was the only one who sat there and went, if I could actually emulate someone in the ring,
like I could actually realistically give it
realistically be able to get a push. Right, the person who said Stone Cold was a midget. The person who said I want to be fucking John Cena was some fat fucking cunt. Who couldn't bump, couldn't run the ropes, nothing. Right. I was the only one who sat there and actually, because Brad was the one that asked that question. He's like, if you could emulate someone, who would it be, right? And then I can't remember who Brad said. It was something stupid like fucking Eric Young or some shit like that, man. Like, I'm like, you are
guy
nothing.
That's never been over.
You're like nothing. You are, who cares? You're nothing compared to him anyway, Brad. You're a fucking turd burglar as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, right. God, the guy just hasn't got a clue. He reckons he's got all the clues in the world. If he did, then why is Al Snow telling him that his answers are wrong constantly?
His seminar with Al Snow, where he's asking us the exact same questions that Al Snow asked in that seminar. He's asking us, this is before the Al Snow seminar, he's like,
what's the main event of WrestleMania 3? What's the best match, WrestleMania 3?
And like,
if someone says Randy, no, it was Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant.
And then
what do rookies need to know this shit for?
And then Al Snow even turned around and went, actually, that match earns more money than the main event. He says, now that match has earned more money than the main event because more people have watched that match over and over again. They rent the WrestleMania DVD because of that match. They want to see it again. That match has earned more money than the fucking main event did. Alright?
But Brad was Mr. I'm going to quote Al Snow every fucking turn I get.
And then Al Snow corrected him every single
time he answered one of Al's questions, he got it wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, after all this time, and you've been telling us that you know everything, well, obviously you fucking don't.
You know nothing, mate. You know fucking nothing. You regurgitate information,
and
you don't even regurgitate it correctly.
And that's why Brad was the guy that had this gimmick with the flashing glasses or whatever, and he's about to go out, and someone said to him, what is your gimmick? And Brad goes, I don't even know. And I'm like, you're the one that gets on people's asses about that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And you do the exact same fucking thing. You don't even know what your gimmick is. Dallas Knight? Who the fuck is Dallas Knight? No one gives a shit.
Do you know what? B-Money was a gimmick. That was actually a gimmick.
Well, you should have stuck with it.
You know, that was actually... He was a fat fucking party boy. He was like the fat version of Steel Kemsley. That's what B-Money was. Pretty much. That's what you can narrow it down to. He was the fat Steel Kemsley. Okay? The fat, bald, ugly, fucking gay, Jewish, Mexican Steel Kemsley.
Anyway,
okay?
we got many more questions to go. So, should we keep going?
No. We're not. I want to go on the tangent about AEW. You know, okay.
We'll keep going.
Let's go on the tangent about AEW because I am pissed off at DJ for never releasing that podcast in which I went on a huge tangent. Okay, all right. Professional wrestling in WA is a load of shit. That's the first thing I'm gonna say. Okay, unless you wrestle for EPW and EPW exclusively, you're just a backyard wrestler, in my opinion, okay? Shane fucking Haste started off in the backyard. The Shark started off in the backyard. Fucking Joey Angel, Slate. Fucking Gorgeous Gary. They all fucking started off in the backyard. So if any of
Jake Paragon, the worst
Paragon,
excuse as well. The one that bags backyarders all the time, but he was a backyard.
The person that bags backyarders yet has never spent a minute in the gym. The person that looks like he's perfectly fucking round. He looks like he's 360 degrees. He's a perfect fucking sphere, mate. That's what that cunt is, right? Even I showed the documentary on that DJ made on Paragon. I showed that documentary at Ocean Reef. You know what Mr. Donnelly said about him? He goes, God, how's that person a wrestler? That's what Mr. Donnelly fucking said.
He doesn't look like one.
He exactly.
And that's why I called him Jake the Cake Paragon.
And this is a media teacher who hates wrestling. He's turned around and gone, God, how is that person a wrestling? And this is a non-biased view, okay? So, mate, if you want to reckon that you're a wrestler,
he's not listening.
Why don't you get into the shape of Aston Crude? You know, the person that he even has a fucking bit
he's
of a big
He's going to be in worse shape than he's in now.
You know, but like those sorts of things, like fucking Joey Angel. Why do he look like? He looked like skeleton with flab. That's what he looks like.
He looked like he used to be really fat.
He took off his t-shirt. Yeah, exactly. He looks like he weighed 180 kilos. He takes off his t-shirt and the women cheer. Why are they cheering? Because they're on crack. That's why. Your whole audience, AAW, is crack addicts and autistic people.
I'm going to say there's a lot of fat people in wheelchairs in their crowd.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of
There's
a lot of people who don't have an IQ above 80.
And you know what? I'm going to turn around and say, besides Target, the only other person that should be booked as a champion is Delhi Dud Singh.
He was good, man.
Somewhat. And Eric Owens. Right, Delhi Dud Singh and Eric Owens. I know they're tag team champions now, but they deserve everything, okay?
Who can even keep up?
The only people that can ever cut the promo, okay, besides Aston when he was there, and even then when you cut up exactly right. So
did the best I could. My best match was with Mike
and
Massive.
for fuck's sake, man, I sat down every match that you had because you asked me for feedback after your professional matches, and I was like, you have to get up left first and all that.
Forgetting
left first, Carl. Left first. Left over right, man. Left over right. That's all you have to remember. Is you put your left arm on your right shoulder.
Eventually, I did remember.
I didn't see Just Jordan doing that. I never saw Just Jordan actively trying to improve himself, yet he got a better position than you did. Fuck's sake, he got a championship shot. Yes, it was the women's championship, but still, it was a championship shot.
I would have got a better match out of Pandora.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you would have fucking rubbed your breast in your nose in her.
Man. Yeah, dude.
You know, and
yeah, dude.
Pandora, if you're watching, which I highly doubt.
She's not.
She's not. I want to fuck you.
Oh, God.
That's why I said it, because she's not
you
really
heard
watching.
Heard it here first, folks, on the GBYWN Australia podcast.
You know what?
He wants to have sex with a stripper.
I will say that was the best experience I ever had in AEW. It was chain wrestling Pandora, and she put me in the side headlocks, and my face was right
on that today.
Oh yeah, she put me in the side headlock. Do you know what? That was Brad though. That's the one thing that Brad did good to me, is when we were at training, he always paired me with Pandora. Always. Every single time I was paired with Pandora. And it was Brad that would do the pairing up. So, you know what? I have to say, Brad, you're a sick cunt for doing that, mate.
On you, mate.
Awesome, mate.
Other
than that, you're a bald fucking faggot.
Too bad you're a fucking dickhead, man. I'm sorry. Blocks me after I do my blog on AAW. I mean, come on.
Not even Jack.
And then lies to you about blocking me. It's like, why would I block you?
No, it was Target that lied to me about it. Target said to me, he's like, no one's blocked you, man. And then I said, Carl. I was like, Brad blocked him straight away. And he's like, I just messaged Brad. Brad says you're full of shit.
No,
whatever.
They both blocked me.
You know, but in all honesty, Target's a top bloke.
He is, and that's why I don't get why he fucking blocked. I put him over in my blog post.
You can't say a bad word.
I said he was the best one
Target.
there. I said he was the best one.
You cannot. There's no bad words to say about Target.
The only bad words I have to say is he blocked me when I put him over.
Yeah, but maybe that's the politics of AEW. You know, working there.
Maybe it wasn't his fault. That he, whatever. Yeah, anyway, let's get back onto the Q&A, man.
Yep, let's go.
That's it. You know, if you're going to go back, just do EPW, man.
Yeah,
you do way better there. Okay. If you could have one more major feud before you retire, who would it be with and why?
Major feud. Wow.
Major feud, back and forth promos, deep personal feud. Who would it be with?
Wow, I really need a second to think about this, eh? This is an intense question. Because I'm not like Luke Monette. I didn't get to look at the questions beforehand. Carl's asking me the questions, and I'm going, oh, fuck, I have to think about this.
That's how it works on the GBYWN Australia podcast.
Unless you're Luke Monet. But really, fuck, man, this is a hard question. If I could feud with one person only. Oh, if I could feud with one, Mykonos. There we go, Mykonos. I think our styles are like pretty much exactly the same. Like, oh no, I wouldn't say that. Mykonos like pretty much refuses to deal with hardcore, so yeah, I would say our styles are the same. Yeah, Mitch. I would say Mitch purely because like, if Mitch was fully emotionally involved, I thought it would be amazing. I think it would be amazing.
This can's going to be a mistake, but fuck it.
You know,
I remember the mistake in the last episode of my podcast with Alex, and I'm doing it right here.
Well, I need to hurry up and finish this one.
I do not need another one, but I'm doing another one.
Jesus Christ!
These fucking ghost ship beers have been fucking.
Every single one you've opened has fizzed up.
Fizzed up like that.
Yeah, but anyway, back to the podcast. Yeah, Mykonos. All right, I've thought about it now, and like, I've never had a feud with Mitch. Like, I haven't had a feud with a lot of people in WCWA, but out of like the people who have been there for a long time. Actually, now thinking about it, I've never even versed Dan Zeppelin yet, so
that would be cool.
That would be cool,
and I think you bring the best of it.
Okay, Mitch or Dan Zeppelin would be the ones I want to feud with. You know, I didn't even think about Dan. You know, I'm sorry, Dan, but even though you're asking these questions, I didn't even think about you then, man. Like, yeah, but Mitch and Dan.
I'm sure that match will happen before he's done.
If I could have a feud with one person. Mitch and Dan are on par.
Maybe 2016.
Mitch and Dan are on the par. Maybe in 2016.
Okay, DJ has got several questions. Tell us about your experience with the pros. What are some of the positives and some of the negatives? So just give me 5 positives and 5 negatives in your time.
All the positives were I got to smoke weed with Paul Lungren and Brian Kendrick.
Boom.
Got to meet professional wrestlers. I got to train with professional wrestlers. I also surprisingly, I learnt a lot from Shark and Grace and Target and Brad. Yes, I know I just ranted about them, but I did learn a lot from them. And then the last thing I will say that is a positive was that I actually made a really good friendship with Michael McMahon. He's one of my favourite people. Big Vinny is one of my favourite people on earth.
Good bloke.
He was
always nice to me.
He's one of the people who I can sit there and talk about anything. I can talk about wrestling, I can talk about politics, I can talk about his life, I can talk about children. Doesn't matter what it is, and he is a top bloke to me. He's never had a bad word to say about me. He's always, when it comes to the boys and when people are bitching about him, he's always come to me and said, look, so-and-so said this, I don't want you to go and abuse them or anything like that, because I'm telling you in confidence, but, like, I want you to know this. Or he's come to me and just been like, oh man, like, so-and-so's put you over. Like, it wasn't, he's just a straight shooter. He's not one of those egotistical bastards, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't care if he wins the championship, he's just there because he loves wrestling, you know? You know, so, like, I love Vinny. He's my favourite person.
And the negatives.
Out of all the prep. The negatives, there are so many negatives, I can't fit 5 in, alright? So the amount of negatives that there are that the first one I will say is that I have chronic back pain. Chronic back pain because of Joey fucking Angel. Okay, I used to think this motherfucker was my friend. No. He's never your friend. He's a two-faced backstabbing prick.
He tried to be my friend.
He tries to be your friend straight away, and he turns into the biggest cunt on earth straight away. I was like, mate, you wrestle at a fucking swimming pool centre in Rockingham. You are not king shit. You had a kid when you were 16 years old. You had a fucking kid when you were 16 years old. You are not king shit. He tried to give me advice on relationships once. He tried to give me fucking advice on relationships. And do you know what? To be perfectly honest, when it truly comes down to it, if you hang out with Joey Angel, he's okay to hang out with. But as a person, as a whole, he's just like one of those people that he's an acquaintance. Like, if you hang out with him, it's like, oh, okay, I'll go to the pub with you if I don't have anything else to do. That's what it's like, you know what I mean? Alright, and then, the worst things is that it depressed me. It brought me down into another level of depression I've never even fucking been to before. Not even when my mate killed herself. Like, you know, that is the level of bullshit that they fucking drop on you. It is ridiculous. You have to fucking... I had to deal with, like, Joey Angel fucking coming out and accusing you of saying that he was drinking on the ground, when you were fucking just sitting there having a couple of cans talking to me in Delhi the whole night. The whole night you were talking to me in Delhi. You accused me of fucking drinking.
And it was the band that were drinking Southern Comfort.
It was the band.
It was the band. And I never said anything. And he accused me. And then when Shark's dad came out and said, that's not true.
He couldn't even apologise. Could not even apologise.
I'm still angry. Why? I didn't even do what you accused me of, you dumb fuck.
He said, I'm still angry at you. What? Fucking
why?
I
don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, I went up to him and I said, why are you still angry at Carl? And he's like, because. I was like,
it's
why?
because he's looking for a reason.
Why are you still angry?
He's looking at a reason to get
all you can say is because. And it's okay, his sister weighs like 160 kilos. Sorry, his daughter weighs like 160 kilos anyway.
Alright, let's get to the next one.
You know, to be honest, man, like, you can really sum it up in one point, the negatives of AAW, and that's AAW. Done. Like, the negative is that they are who they are.
I would have said the bullshit of waiting for a good storyline to be introduced, to the roster as a good character. They didn't do it.
But the whole thing, man.
They said that Just Jordan was able to be on TV, but you weren't, and just putting you in those stupid outfits and under the mask was just... So Ryu, and what was the other one? There was Ryu, when you tagged with me for the tag titles.
And then the Smith brother.
One
of the Smiths brothers.
The one with the fucking American pants was stupid.
Do you know that superfans came up to me after the show and said that should be your permanent gimmick?
Well,
when I did the fucking American thing with the American pants, he goes, that should be your permanent gimmick. And I'm like, that shows how much you know, superfan.
Who are your influences stylistically from DJ?
Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, and fucking X-Pac. Done.
Talk a little about some of the controversy that has surrounded your yachting tenure. What's your side of the story? Well, we pretty much have had your side of the story over everything.
My side of the story is everyone was a cunt to me and I did nothing wrong. Yeah, that's like obvious bullshit. Like, it was okay. There's lots of things where I think that other people were in the wrong, right? You know, and that's life. And I was definitely in the wrong for a lot of things as well. You know, it comes down to the fact that like a lot a lot of people have egos when it comes to wrestling, no matter if it's backyard or what. And whether you admit it or not, Mykonos, you have an ego. I have to say, Mitch.
He's got way better.
Just have to put Mitch. Definitely, man.
Now
definitely.
He's more like so insecure about every match he has.
The only reason I made
everything he ever does.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason I made that dig is because of how insecure he is now. That is just a joke. It's just a joke.
Dan Zeppelin's worse, man.
Oh man, I heard Dan. Dan the other day said to me that he feels like he's the shittest wrestler in WZWA. I was like, "Are you for real, man?" I was like, "Seriously, dude, you are top notch up there." But like, and honestly, like my side of the story when it comes to the backyard wrestling is that I was a bit of an egotistical prick. I felt like I was being hard done by in a few situations. I would say that the majority of those situations in hindsight were just ridiculous. I would say that there were a couple of situations where I was probably right, but you know, that's just how it happens. Like that's fucking life, man. Like, you know, DJ mate, if you were at today, you would have seen how much of a sick match I had with Jacob, but you weren't there. What's your side of the story for that? You know, I could ask the same thing.
Exactly. Okay, next question from DJ. A number of people who have had issues with you in the past have commented on your commitment to improving your social skills, and as a result, you've had almost no issues in recent times. What sparked this change? Was it your choice, or did it happen naturally as you matured?
Okay, I would say that it was both. I would turn around and say that the main thing that brought my head in was when I felt like I almost lost WZWA, the event that Carl and I covered before, where I came down and was like, apologised. Even though I felt at the time I wasn't in the wrong, I still apologised just for the pure fact that I need to be there. And the comments about, like, did it happen naturally as you matured? Like, are you for real, DJ, man? Like, seriously, did it happen naturally as you matured?
Did it happen? It wasn't, or was it a conscious decision?
It was a conscious fucking decision not to call people pricks. Like, you know, not like every time I comment something in the thread, like I delete it now, like before I've even posted it, because the first thing that pops into my mind is just brutality. Legitimately, you've met my dad, DJ. You understand what my life's been brought up on. Like, my dad brutalizes me so much. So, like, it is 100% the conscious decision. Everything I say.
Yeah, and it's a very conscious decision.
But it's like it's not to do with the filter at all. It's like my family atmosphere is like you call each other like the most horrid things possibly, and you just deal with it.
But you've learned that that's not what you do in the outside world.
Yeah, I've learned that like most people haven't had the same upbringing as me and don't understand where I'm coming from when I say that. Like, legit, everything I say is not meant in a hurtful way, even though, like, I am trying to say the most hurtful thing, if you know what I mean. Like, I understand that's like an oxymoron. Like, I know
it sounds like you're mental.
It does sound like I'm mental. Like, I try to say the most hurtful thing, but I'm not trying to hurt you. It's strange. It's strange as... That's, like, literally, man, there's been so many things where, like, Justin and Zibby have commented, and I just want to say something about the Holocaust, because I've just come up with, like, the most witty thing about the Holocaust, and it's like, 6 million people died, Chris. Like, this is a serious issue for them, even though it's not a serious issue for you.
And remember, they've been hearing the jokes since
their
2010.
whole life, their whole fucking life, man.
But in wrestling, since 2010, 5 years, we've heard every joke that needs to be said. Yeah. Let's get over it.
Yeah, just move on. I think that at the start of the year, I was Carl. I think it was Carl. I'm not sure, but someone posted in the thread, "What is your goal for this year?" Everyone had wrestling goals.
It was Ryan.
Wrestling goals. Everyone had wrestling-based goals, and my goal is the fact that I just wanted to be better friends with everyone.
Yeah, and that was my favourite answer, actually.
That was my biggest goal.
It had nothing to do with wrestling. It was
I just wanted to be better friends with everyone, and that's 100% true. Like, if you're this far into the podcast, and I commend you because I'm just ranting incoherently at the moment, like, legitimately, hit me up. I'm willing to chill with fucking everyone. Like, seriously, I consider
I want
everyone
to know
in
that
company
Chris has taken
my
a fucking
thread.
train down to Warnbro and is fucking
Fuck's sake,
hot boxed with Kai Fusion and Big Ace.
Man,
That's why I wanna hear.
I've trekked down to fucking Armadale to walk and knock on people's houses for Bill fucking Shorten. So like, if I can do that, I'm happy to go down to fucking Andrew to have a sesh. Like,
Exactly.
you know, if I'm doing it for fucking a person I don't even support as the leader of Labour, like, I will happily come down and hang with you guys. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm constantly messaging people to hang out, and like the only people I ever get replies from is like Ice. So like, yeah, you know.
And you do ask me to come to the pub, but like,
You're
driving
a
down
broke
there, and I'm
motherfucker.
broke. But driving down there, I can only have
Carl,
two.
it's only a
I
2 hour
can only have
walk.
2 pints.
It's only a 2 hour walk to Defectors, mate.
Yeah, that's true. Next question. We all have our little cliques within the yarding scene of people who look at wrestling or approach it similarly. Who are the people in yarding whose views on wrestling or being a wrestler line up with your own?
Nobody's, because I'm a person who believes in the hardcore side, and I'm also a person that believes in the technical side. Every aspect of wrestling is important. To make a show, you need the technical wrestlers, you need the high flyers, you need the hardcore people. If you don't have all the elements, right, it's like making a cake. If you forget the egg, you can't make a cake. If you get the flour, you can't make a cake. You need all of it.
Everything
there.
to make the product
you need it all there.
as a whole.
So to say that,
Perfect.
who are the people in yarding whose views on wrestling or being a wrestler line up with my own would, like, in all honesty, when it truly comes down to critiquing wrestling, it'd probably be DJ lines up with my views the most.
Okay.
Like really, like DJ's views line up with mine a lot. Like when we talk about like the psychology and the reasons behind wrestling, I'd say DJ. But as a wrestler, like a person going out there and actually performing, I'd say that no one's views align with mine. I'd say that Mitch's views align with mine just as much as Jacob's and Chaos's do, and yours align with mine just as much as Deacon's and Carl's do. You know, I am under the opinion that every single aspect is like a piece of a piece puzzle. Like you need, like if you didn't have the cameraman, there would be no show. If you didn't have the person that set up the stage, there would be no show. If you didn't have some guy doing sound, there would be no show. If you didn't have the announcer, there wouldn't be a show.
You need
So
a little bit of everything.
Every little aspect is so important to the show that, like, if it's gone, that's the only time that you actually comprehend how important it is. Like, that's why when you get into WWE, like, you walk, even if you're doing tryouts, right, you walk around and you shake every fucking person's hand, from Vince McMahon to The Undertaker to the guy that sets up the ring. You shake all of their hands, because if there's not that guy that's going to set up the ring, you don't have a fucking ring to wrestle in. If it's not the guy that puts all the chairs out for someone to sit in, you're not going to sit in that chair. No one's doing lighting, you're not going to have light. You're not, you know, that's
It's a very in-depth answer, Chris.
yeah, but that's also the reason why John Cena is happy to shake your hand. If you're at WWE,
So.
and this is something that the Shark told me, right? Because he's done tryouts at WWE 3 times. He's paid for it twice, by the way. Just putting that in, he paid for it twice.
He's never going to get signed.
Never got called back.
He's never going to get signed.
Yeah, but
He's
what
too
he
small,
but what he said,
he's not good enough.
But what
he's got
he
no
said,
personality.
yeah, but what he said was 100% true. Is that John Cena was happy to shake his hand because he knew that the Shark was as important to the show, even though he was doing tryouts, as he was. Like everyone,
Understood, and that's
like,
a good way
like,
to look at it.
And for example, like, if you have a jobber on the show, in order for the jobber to make $50, John Cena makes $1 million. All right, like this is obviously not as an analogy, but in order for if the person is not willing to do their job, no one gets the payout. Nobody. So if you get $50 a show, but he's getting $1,000 a show, right? If it becomes that big of a draw where people are willing to pay the guy on top to get that win, right? And even if you're there just to build up that win at the end of the show, right? You're still worth that money.
Still just as much
You're
important.
still just important. Just as important.
And let's stop the tangent there. That's a tangent and a half, right?
It wasn't a tangent. It was an
elaborate.
It was elaborate.
It was elaboration. Okay, very good. What are your 3 top favourite matches you've ever had? 3.
Me versus TJ at Aussie Anarchy. like, okay, me versus DJ is number one, straight up, done. Like, that's an easy answer. But the other two is a bit difficult.
3 stages of Hell with Ice, is that not there? No?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
What about your tag match with you and Jack against the other guys?
No. It's a different sort of, like, psychology. I would say that okay, maybe not favourite because I can't remember off the top of my head, but the most enjoyable matches were probably me versus Ryan in the first match that we had.
There you go, yeah, Ryan.
Because I really can't think of favourite matches like off the top of my head. But I'm just going to go,
yeah,
because things that resonate as like,
sure.
I had fun, you know what I mean? Because those resonate more than whether or not that was brilliant or not, you know? You know, so me versus Ryan, me versus DJ, and I'd probably say me versus Chaos at the show that we just threw together. Was that London's or Rampage? Whichever one where I
what recently at Frostbite?
Whether I versed not recently. The one where I was Chaos, which was just like a random throw together.
Well, Lana's asked.
Yeah, Lana's asked it. Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, DJ again, what are the differences between ICWS and WCWA? Don't mention the obvious one, okay? We know what the obvious one is.
I've explained the difference so many times. The difference between ICWS and WCWA. Okay, production value. Done. That is the biggest fucking difference. And ICWS is down the basics. You have a base, you walk out of a shitty curtain, and you go out there and wrestle. In WCWA, there's so many more elements. It's almost at the professional level. Yeah, you know, they're two completely different things. You're comparing it's like comparing a Boeing 747 to a Reliant Robin. That's what
just
you're doing.
say an apple and an orange, dude. Let's keep it simple for all those
an apple and orange. I bet you half of the people listening don't even know. Half of the people, so one person, don't even know what a Reliant Robin is. But yeah, an apple and an orange. It's like comparing an apple and an orange. There's no comparison. They're both fruit, but there's no comparison. Like I would say that ICWS is easier to wrestle at, especially, like, there's no better place to learn for, like, people like Kyle and Deacon. If Kyle, Deacon, Ace, Steele, if they really, truly want to learn the basics of wrestling, wrestle at ICWS every single chance you have. If you want to learn how to be a better entertainer, if you want to be a better performer and entertainer, that's WCWA. WCWA is entertainment. More entertainment, you know? But the, ICWS, I would say, is much more like technical-based wrestling.
Okay.
Technical-based wrestling or brawling, depending. Like, you can't really do much high-flying.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you like about each fed individually?
I like the no-stress atmosphere of ICWS. I like the big show atmosphere of WCWA.
He wants you to give a word association or just your thoughts on 3 guys. Acid.
Cunt.
3 Dog.
Sick cunt.
Phaser.
Jew.
No, but like your thoughts on them, you know, as a wrestler.
Word association. Like, I thought you meant one less.
Or what are your thoughts?
Okay, wait, let me actually read this question. Not sure if I will do a word association. So what are your thoughts?
What are your thoughts on the wrestling work of?
Okay, the wrestling work of Acid, he had so much potential. If he didn't take it and turn into a dickhead, he could have gone straight to the top. He would have got that the heavyweight championship before I did if he didn't turn into a prick. Straight out. Like, I know that would have happened, okay? 3 Dog is a top-notch bloke. I think he's a good guy. He's a shit wrestler. Shit. I'm sorry, mate, you're a shit wrestler. You can take some bumps, though, mate. That's what you can do. You can fucking take bigger bumps than any other person. You can and you can dish out the punishment as well, but you cannot do a lock-up to save your life, mate. For one, like, you put both hands on their shoulder. That, you know, that's all I have to say. As a wrestler, you're shit. As a brutal cunt, you're awesome. You know, that's easy to put. Phaser, I will probably say that be more committed. Be more fucking committed. You could be an awesome fucking wrestler. Like, if you were committed, you could go all the way to WWE. You've got the skill on the mic. You've got the look. You've got the athleticism. If you just had some fucking commitment, you could be brilliant. But you don't, so too bad.
Okay, last question from DJ. What are some goals in either or both feds that you want to accomplish?
Win both the big championships, have a sick feud with someone, and eventually, I know this isn't both feds, but eventually get into the GBYWN Hall of Fame.
Excellent. Okay, now we got 5 questions from Blade Shaw, and that is the end of the Q&A section. I think what happened was Dan, DJ, and Blade put up all these great questions, and no one could even think of anything else.
Oh, yeah.
So Blade firstly asked, what is your current opinion on the state of pro wrestling in WA? I wasn't expecting the pro bit, but when he said it, I know why he's saying that, because we had a big rant on his podcast about it. So you think it's not going so well?
Not top notch at all.
I think all 4 could be improving so much.
But they're not.
They all need to do so much.
I think the biggest problem with the pro feds is that they all think that they're the best. Each individual federation thinks that they're the best federation out of the lot. And that's the problem, is that you're looking at each other as shit house when you're all fucking shit. You are all shit. Even EPW, okay? Right, if you want to talk about wrestling as a whole, okay? I know that WZWA, okay? If you want to look at it as wrestling as a whole, we're shit, but we're backyard wrestlers, okay? We're not fucking professionals. You guys want to sit there and call yourself professional feds? You're not fucking professionals, okay? You are backyard companies that pay money to wrestle. That's all you fucking are. That's all you are, alright? And the current state of professional wrestling is bringing wrestling in Australia as a whole into disrepute. Some of the shit that you guys do is ridiculous. Some of the storylines that you book make no sense. Some of the people that you book make no sense. Why is Just Jordan being booked? Why is that big cunt, the big fat fucking Somalian-looking prick in AEW being booked? Why is he being booked? He's trained twice.
Do you mean AEW or NHPW?
No, I'm talking about AEW.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Exactly, so. He's only been booked recently. The weird cunt. Like, he wasn't training when I was training, right? So I trained longer than he did, most definitely, but he was already booked. That's horse shit straight away. Alright? You want to talk about NHPW? Let's talk about NHPW. Your training regime is shit house, okay? Mana, you cannot train by sitting in the wheelchair outside the ring. I know you're disabled, buddy. I don't have a problem with you, Nick. I love you, Nick. But seriously, man, get a proper trainer. Heritor is not a trainer. He cannot train. I'm sorry, he cannot. You will never improve unless you get a better trainer. Schwa, you're just downright shit. Fucking book Vince Russo as your booker, okay? Like, just get him. He'll do a better job than any person there. Or Eli. Eli will do a better fucking job than any other person there. Like, Jesus Christ.
I think he's involved in booking there, isn't he?
He's got a little bit of a word, but he's not actually like the top-notch booker. Alright? He can whisper in people's ears and have it heard and listened to. But, like, other than that, fuck him. Alright? And, like, why hasn't he been champion yet? Why? How many times are you going to put that belt on slate?
I don't know.
How many times are you going to put that belt on slate?
I don't want to say anything, but, like, just you...
He's nearly lost every fucking match he's been in. Like, Jesus Christ, he lost to Michelle, for fuck's sake. He lost to Michelle. What is going on? You lost to Michelle. A woman versus a man. The woman shouldn't win, and cleanly. She won cleanly. What is going on there? That is the worst booking I've ever seen.
Hopefully not with a choke slam.
Okay, it doesn't mean... Okay, Michelle may be able to beat you up in real life. Doesn't matter. This is wrestling, right? People's thoughts are, she's a woman. You are a man. You should win, okay? She won cleanly. You're both dumb. You're both fucking idiots for letting that happen, okay? Alright, and let's get EPW. EPW is the best out of the lot. They're top notch, okay? Right, they're still shit. They need like... more of a fucking idea of like their current position, because after the feud with Nate Dooley and who was the other guy? Nate Dooley and Darcy Williams. Right, after that, you've done nothing. After that feud happened, nothing has happened in EPW since. Like, seriously, what is going on? The best thing that happened since that feud was David Storm versus fucking Loki, and that was at NHPW. So, you know, what is going on there? So, if any professional ever brings down our company, you're all fucking hypocrites, mate, because you just shit yourself, you know, and you have the audacity of calling yourself pros. So, you know, my opinion on the current state of pro wrestling is horse shit.
Fantastic. Wasn't my words, it was his. Away from wrestling, how did your strong political convictions develop from Blade? Don't rant too long about it.
My strong political convictions come from believing that everyone is equal, everyone has an opportunity, and I'm sick and tired of the fact that... Alright, let's put it as an analogy, okay? Because 99% of the world's wealth is given to 0.8% of the world's people. So let's put that into perspective. If the world was 100 people and one person went, I'm going to take 99% of the lands and wealth and food, the other 99 people would go, fuck you, and kill him. That is why my political spectrum is where I am at. Pure and simple. Like, you know, if you don't like unions, don't take any of the union benefits. Don't have overtime pay. Don't have casual loading. Don't go and work for 1 hour a day, like $1 per day, and work 16 hours. Don't have a weekend. Don't have anything. You'll be in a worse condition than if you're a slave. Okay, so like my political spectrum comes from the fact that Margaret Thatcher was full of shit. That's where it comes from.
Okay. If you could change anything in your yarding and pro tenures, would you? And if so, why?
I would. I would not be such a prick to Carl when he first started booking, because I'd be in a better position than I am now. You know, like yeah, like
all right,
like yeah. And with professional wrestling, I wish I was more of a prick, because fuck them. It doesn't matter how hard I tried to get over. It doesn't matter how much of a fucking arse lick I was. You guys were just pricks to me. Like I would go out there. And I called a handspring into a German suplex.
Yeah, who the fuck?
Who the?
He didn't catch
exactly.
you properly.
Casey Hansen did not catch me.
The timing was terrible.
So, whoever
although
is,
your handspring wasn't too flash, I will tell you that.
My wrist blew out on me.
Okay.
My wrist blew out on me.
Hey, at least you didn't flick your hair back when I gave Joey Angel the punch
to
to the face.
Yeah,
I was trying to flick my hair back.
2 minutes before you even hit the bunch, he was fucking swinging his hair back.
2 minutes before. 2 minutes is so long, dude.
Yeah, I know, but that's what it felt like, standing on the side of the ring. That's what it felt like. Is that Joey would snap his hair, and then Carl would lay the punch. That's what happened. It's like,
dude, let me hit you first before you move your head, you dumb
He
fuck.
has the audacity of going, you can't bump, I can't bump, we made him look shit, when he can't even take a fucking punch properly.
And they wouldn't let you do any moves in the match when you're the high flyer. So yeah, you're the one that's going to be able to create all the movement in the match.
So, like, what I'd change in WCWA is I wouldn't be such an egotistical bastard, and what I'd change in AEW is I would be such an egotistical bastard. Straight up.
Excellent. Second last question from Blade. Which wrestlers in WCW would you like to see go pro and why?
Go pro? Ice. KO. Everyone. I wish if everyone could make it to WWE, make a living off it, because I know the only reason everyone is here is because
none of us are going to make it to WWE.
However,
no way.
No, I wish Barrett would fail though.
The one guy that's probably got a shot.
Yeah, the one dude that like has a chance. I'm like, I hope he fails. I hope he doesn't make it. No, but like in all honesty, like if that's your passion, I hope you make it straight up. Like there's like, wait, do you think or do you hope? Would you like? Yeah. So what you like is hoping. So yeah, everyone. Well, who I think, no one. Straight up, because it's just such a bullshit fucking...
Yeah, I think
it's just such a bullshit
after doing backyard wrestling for so long, then they'll walk into pro wrestling and be like, what's this bullshit? Fuck
yeah, exactly.
I'm going home and I'm going to get a real job.
Yeah, pretty much. As soon as you're like in that sort of spectrum of professional wrestling, it just destroys your passion. It just does. It blows you out straight away. So like if you want to go pro, do it, and fucking I wish the best. But if you don't, then fucking awesome. Like, you know. Would I like if there was? Okay, I have to say one person. If there was one person that I'd want to like sit down and watch on TV, it'd be Ice. You know, I think that like he could have the dedication to go that far. Like I don't see anyone else really truly having the dedication. I see like if Ice got the support from a couple of people, then he'd do it. Like, but if he doesn't have the support, he wouldn't do it also. Mm-hmm. Like yeah, I'd say that if Ice had the support, he'd do it, and I'd like to see him do it. So yeah,
cool. Last question from Blade. Do you see more room for evolution in the Rex Regum character, and what direction would you take?
The same as ITWS and WZA if I could. However, I'd really like to kind of just sort of change my whole persona in wrestling at the moment. I feel like I'm really bland. I really enjoy sort of becoming more of like a how do you say it? Sort of like a retro, like 80s style rocker. I don't know. Hair metal. Hair metal gimmick. There we go. Hair metal gimmick. Straight up. Hair metal.
Really? You want to take that route?
I would love to do a hair metal gimmick. Fucking.
Well, grow your hair, dude.
Just come. I did, and then I shaved it off.
You should keep it going.
You know, like, but I think it'd just be awesome to come out to like fucking Motley Crue and just be like a rocker wearing fucking some leather tights and the singlet and long hair, and yeah, it'd be awesome. Yeah. I'd love to do it. I don't see it happening, but yeah, I would love to do it.
Wow, that came out of left field. I didn't expect that. Alright, we're going to play a little bit of word association for the next 11 minutes. We've got another 11 minutes until we've hit 2 hours on this last part. So I'm just going to throw some names out there. Tell me what you think of them. Don't just say one word. Tell me what you think of them.
Yep.
And whatever comes to mind. Big Ace.
Awesome bloke. Really wish he was more like sociable, if you know what I mean. Like when you talk to him, he's a bit quiet, but like he's like
play GTA 5 with him. It's a completely different story.
He's sort of like he's like the quieter version of Blade. That's how I consider him. Like they're both really just lovable guys, and as soon as you see them, you just want to go up and just be engulfed in a hug by them.
Yes,
like that's as soon as you see Ace or Blades, like you just want to be engulfed in a big hug by both of them. You're like you know what I mean? They're just lovable big dudes. It's like a big cuddly bear. And
I'm serious. If you want him to be more talkative, play GTA Online with him.
Well, I don't. I have an Xbox. I have an Xbox. Okay,
he's constantly yapping on Skype.
And like I was one of the first people from WZWA to meet Ace as well. So like it was me, Luke, Jack, and actually all the originals besides Antilochus met him. So yeah, like before anyone else. And like even then he was really quiet. And I remember the first time I met Blade, his brother was fucking some chick in his room. That was the first time I met Blade, and it's like his brother's just destroying some tight pussy, and Blade's just the quietest dude, and he's like twice the size of his brother as well. And
are you talking about Ace or Blade?
Oh, Ace, not Blade. I keep saying Blade. I'm sorry, I'm a bit sloshed here, boys. I'm a bit sloshed. No, Ace. Yes, Ace. The first time I met Ace.
Ace's brothers.
I just consider them like, yes, Blade's more vocal.
So Ace's brother was fucking some chick.
Yeah, just destroying. Alright, and then two of the other guys from their trampoline fed, both of their girlfriends came up to me, grabbed me, and took me around the corner just because they wanted to show me their I was just laughing so hard. And I was,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and a fun story. The day that I met all of them, one of the chicks that was there, Rebecca Laddington, the fucking biggest slut on earth, she got bashed in the fucking car park.
Oh Jesus Christ, that's not good for her, is it?
No, it's not. It was good for the fucking
But that's what you think of Ace, is this chick getting beaten up in the car park.
Yeah, that's the first.
We're talking about Ace. Don't go on a tangent, Chris.
I'm sorry, man. I can't help it. No, but what I think of Ace is like just like the quieter version of Blade. Like nice. That is literally, and like I love him to bits, man. Like Ace is one of my favourite people at WCWA. Like he's just top notch bloke.
Okay, Arthur Aries.
Wish I could see more of him. Like it seems like every second event he's not there. Like pretty.
Well, he
much,
hasn't been there since Resolution, so.
Really? Seriously? Fucking.
That's why Deacon's the tag champion, because
he's behind
Aries wasn't showing up.
Oh wow!
So we had to give the tag title to someone. So.
Yeah, no, okay, well, fair enough. I think Matt's a nice guy. Fun story. The first match I was ever supposed to have at their Fed, Matt was going to drop his title to me.
Lowe fucked it up, didn't he?
Yeah, because he split his head open. The dickhead.
Fucking idiot.
Do you know what that was?
I was so angry because he was like, WCWA champion at the time.
Do you know Tim cracked the shits over that?
Risk yourself, dude. You're supposed to be champion.
Do you know Tim cracked the shits over that? Right, we only had 4 extra seats in my car. So it was like me, Luke, Jack... Tim and Lo had went up on the train, right? And we had to take someone to the trains to the hospital, right? Lo, which is the only spare seat that we had. My dad said, I picked up Luke and Jack, so I have to take them back. He's like, I picked them up, I have to take them back. Alright? Tim cracked the shits over that. He's like, that's my fucking cousin, all this shit. My dad just turned around and went, oi cunt. I fucking picked these 2 people up. He's cracked his head open. Shut the fuck up. And Tim shat his pants. Yeah.
Fucking hell, Tim.
Yeah, another tangent. But like Matt,
Tim Justice.
Yeah, but like Matt's a nice guy. Wouldn't have much bad to say. Well, I don't have anything.
I just want him to come back and just finish.
Yeah, just fucking wrestle, man. Just come back
with it. Just keep coming, man.
There's not much to say there except he's a nice guy. Like really, I have not had much to do with him really, you know, except for like he's a nice guy. He offered to drop his title on the first match that he'd ever have with me, like the first match I'd ever have in that champion in that company. He's like, I'll drop my belt to you, man. And I was like, yeah. So yeah, he's like,
from what I've heard, the title history is fucking mental. Like everyone has said every title about 10 times. Tim Justice,
gay. Now, Tim's a top bloke. I'd say that Tim and I are better friends now than when we ever were wrestling. Like, honestly, I'd say that, yeah, definitely. Tim and I are better friends now than ever before. He's a nice guy. I think that he embellishes the truth a little bit too much just for like comedic or story purpose. I don't know why he does it. He doesn't need to do it, but I think he's like
a lot of people are like that in the world.
Yeah. I feel like he has something to prove, and it's like, man, you have nothing to prove. Like you're a mate anyway. So like, just chill, man. Like his story about getting a blowjob onto like that's obvious bullshit.
Lie.
It's an obvious lie.
You
man.
know,
like,
he never DJ'd at Shape.
Like there's no point in even saying that shit, man. Just like let's tell the truth, man. Like nobody cares. Like I don't turn around and say in the thread, yeah, man, I fucked 1,000,000 chicks. Like I don't lie about that sort of thing. Like, you know, there's no point in doing it. Like all it does is when we find out about the lie is just bring your reputation down. So if you don't do it in the first place, bang, you know, you're fine. Like I loved him. Like he's a top notch bloke. I feel bad about what transpired at Resolution 2. Like with what I said, like, you know, I do legitimately feel bad because I was just in a shitty mindset about like the whole entire situation, and we ended up pulling off a brilliant match. But like, yeah, Tim's a top bloke. I consider him a good mate. I'd say that we're better friends now than we ever were when he was wrestling. And other than that, just don't bullshit anymore, man. Just be straight up with the boys, and no one will give a shit, man. Like you might get the piss pulled out of you, but that happens to everyone, no matter what you say. So, like, just deal with it and enjoy being part of the boys.
Steel Kemsley.
I wish John was my dad. Done.
What a good dad. He likes every post on the WCW.
Oh yeah, he does as well. Eh? He's like the most supportive person on earth. Yeah, and he's rich, and his missus has got big knockers. Yeah, exactly. What more could you ask for?
And your son is still the party boy, Kemsley.
Oh yeah, man. Like, and still just like the nicest bloke as well. Like, why are you just asking me about nice people? You don't want me to bitch?
No, I'm just starting off nicely, you know. You know, we've only got about fucking 3.5 minutes to go. Who else is there? Let's think.
I don't know. There's like 30 Knuckles. Other people. Knuckles. I won a chop battle against Knuckles.
I heard.
You were there. It wasn't even a match either. It was just in real life a chop back. Now Knuckles is a strange person to me because like I don't associate with him ever. I've probably only ever seen him like 3 times in real life anyway. Like he's just like a funny Serbian prick who's like you cannot take seriously in real life. DJ told me that like every time he's at wrestling, that's not what he's actually like. He's just putting on a gimmick for wrestling. So like I cannot make a comment because I've never seen the real Knuckles. So yeah.
Okay. Kill or Chaos? You've given your thoughts before, but...
Ja ću da ubijem tebi!
Lasting impressions on Chaos.
Wish I didn't set him on fire. I don't know. I've said so much about Chaos in this podcast.
I'm just trying to think of someone else. Rusty.
Rusty is a sick cunt. I wish I could shout in that chop I promised him, but I lost half of it by spilling it. I really I want to wrestle him. I wish he'd come over again, soon.
I want him to come back. It's really been difficult for him scheduling.
He's like a top-notch bloke, man, and it's just awesome exchanging stories with him, and so much experience, and it's been over to America to wrestle, and
America, Canada.
He's like the backyard god, to say from my perspective. Yes, there's other people in Australian backyard wrestling who have done the same things and possibly even more, but I haven't met you. I've met Rusty, so in my opinion, Rusty's the sickest cunt and the best wrestler in Australian backyard history. So
excellent.
Fuck you all, especially you, Matt Stewart. I doubt he's watching either.
No, he's not watching. Hydro.
I wish I could have a serious conversation with him. That's
hard.
That's the biggest thing. I love Hydro. I think he's an awesome guy. But I just wish I could say hello and him just go, "Hey man, how you going?" Not just say some of his random shit that he says. But yeah, other than that, Hydro's a sick guy.
Well, we've heard your thoughts on the likes of Dark Ice, Antilochus, Jack Wallace, Luke Monet, Mykonos, Ryan Tate, Kilowatt Chaos.
Just don't ask me the thoughts on you, man.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I'll say you're a prick
because
anyway.
I always do it, so I'm over it. But I want to ask one more.
Yeah, no worries.
Rex Regum.
Well, my thoughts on myself.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, that's how I end every word association, is the thoughts on the person himself.
My thoughts on myself is that I wish I could be a better person, in general. If it comes down to, I just wish that, I could be the party. To put it in, there's if you think about it, when you're searching for somewhere to go out to, you're looking for the party. So therefore, there's 1% of the world are the party, and the rest of the people are looking for the party. I wish I could be the party.
Excellent. All right, well, Rex,
I wish I could be Stu, the party.
The party boy. Well, Rex, that is it. That is the end of the podcast.
Aww.
That is your career. That is word association. That is the Q&A. It's all done, all over Red Rover. I think we done a pretty good job tonight. It's 2:05 in the morning.
Oh, chilled.
Chilled. Getting tired.
A little bit.
So I just thought it would be a good time to wrap things up. I think we've done a good job. We've just passed 2 hours on the last part of the podcast.
Nice.
So before we set off, I just want to say thank you.
No worries.
For doing the podcast.
Awesome.
And thank you for your hard work over the years. You've become one of the top wrestlers in WCWA.
Haven't won the top belt though.
Don't need to prove that you're one of the best.
Said 10 times during this podcast I don't care, but still has to put it in the end.
No, but you've done a very good job over the last few years, and you've become very much a better person. Just for yourself, but for everyone else. I believe everyone sees you in a different light now, and you're a good dude. And you've got a good heart. So, really appreciate all the efforts you've put into your backyard wrestling career thus far. And you did not roll that smoke very well, did you?
No, shockingly.
But, there you go, Rex. Thank you very much once again.
Cheers, dude.
And any lasting comments?
Lou, if anyone's not a backyard wrestler and you're listening to this, fucking do it straight away. There's nothing holding you back except for your own fear that you're gonna get ridiculed. And I dealt with bullying for 3 fucking years. I dealt with the ridicule from the professional wrestling scene, and you know what? It's all fucking worth it.
It's worth it.
100% worth it.
I agree.
The lifelong friendships that you create, the memories that you create, it's all worth it.
I agree. So thank you, Rex. And thank you, everyone, for listening to the GBYWN Australia podcast.
Yeah, boychich.
And as usual, I'm your host, Aston Crew. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed my interview with Rex Regum here tonight, this night of the 12th and 13th of September 2015.
Only 1/2 days.
Yeah.
1/2 days.
Yep. So thank you for listening, and I'll be with you next time when I interview Chris Zeppelin. Yeah.